I don't get it. I don't know the pun. I don't know the Fury part.
No, me
Final
neither.
Fight.
I'm not saying there is. I was asking just because the Banjos was raring to go, and I thought maybe there was something in there.
Fatal Fury is the game he's from.
Yep.
Oh, Faces of Fury. That makes perfect sense.
He's not from Final Fight. He's from Fatal Fury.
Yes.
Are we talking about Terry Bogard?
We're talking about Terry Bogard. Is he British?
Bogard. No, but in the anime, that's how the bad guy announced it.
Is it Liquid Snake?
Terry Bogard.
The only British man.
The only British man?
And that stuck with me for some fucking reason. I fucking love it.
Can you... Two things. One, fucking get yourself in.
Yep.
And two, can you bring this podcast in as British Terry Bogard?
No, it's not British Terry Bogard. It's Geese Howard. Terry Bogard's arch nemesis.
Can you bring this podcast in as Geese Howard?
No, I cannot. I cannot. I'm sorry. I don't do voices.
Who can you bring this podcast in as? People
All
love
regular. Everybody, hi. Welcome to episode 288. It's September 9, 2019. I am Oliver Aguilar, and you are listening to the Talking Reckless podcast. With me tonight is Brando.
I'm very confused and happy to be here.
Matt Eads.
Thanks for having me.
And last but not least, Bryce Cynic.
It's all backwards. I don't understand.
Don't worry, you guys. This is all happening right now.
My neck hurts from looking to the right too much.
I couldn't do a Geese Howard, so I'm fucking introing the show, apparently.
Yeah, what about Liquid Snake?
Brother!
Oh, that's pretty good. Did you like my intro? Welcome to the show. That was a great intro. Thanks very much, Oliver.
Thank you. Sometimes I like doing it. It's fun. It's weird.
Yeah.
It like gets me fired up.
Fucking adrenaline.
Yeah, because I'm like, fuck, I can't mess this up.
We gotta, especially that it's live now too. You really can't mess it up.
There you go.
No retakes.
Yep.
We just got to keep that going, and then eventually, I don't even need to be here. I can just, hey boys, 4A podcast, and that great. All right, here's the show notes.
You guys talked about how that one time I took an interest in like working the boards, and then never took interest after.
Yeah, it's not rocket surgery. They can teach anybody.
I don't know. You spent a lot of time just fucking trying to make those sound waves go today.
It was only one little setting,
and then you get upset when things go wrong.
I do get upset when things go wrong.
Yeah, and so I don't need that stress in my life
because they always go wrong before a show. I mean, there's nothing to go wrong when the show's over, obviously, but the nature of what I do is it always goes wrong, and then you have to perform for two to however many hours. Yeah. It's like, oh man, now I got this hanging out. This isn't going. Oh.
What's interesting is that, like, I always thought that it's because we're Bush League, but listening to
we're not Bush League. What the fuck?
Listening to other podcasts,
right at Matt when he said that.
Listening to other podcasts, it just sounds like everybody has these fucking issues.
Yeah, totally. Professionals who have like $1 million budgets.
Yeah,
we do okay down here.
They have like proper studios. No, apparently this is just what happens.
We're like double A.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Double
sorry.
A.
I'm sorry, you guys.
We're like double A. Yeah. The people I consider triple A that I watch, and I know you watch, and a lot of us around here watch, and I don't want to name names because they're better than us, and you'll probably just watch and never come back.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's
a very real fear I have.
But
they have problems all the fucking time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too.
Way worse problems than like we were talking about one last week. It was like, well, that problem they had wouldn't happen here.
No, we don't have that equipment.
Yeah, we're broke as fuck. Oh,
just
man.
retie the string to the cup and keep going.
Exactly. Like a little duct tape and away you go. We do okay.
Yeah, we do. We do great.
We do okay.
I think we do great.
I remember I used to say we do this more for us anyway, and then you started trying to make a living out of it, and now it's, well, I hope people are paying for this.
It's about 50-50. I still do it for me, but, man's got to eat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hooking for cheeseburgers out there. It's getting cold, like we saw. There hasn't been a nice Wednesday to hook for burgers this entire summer.
Yeah,
but Tuesday is burger day.
Tuesday's not burger hooking day.
I thought Tuesday was taco day.
Do you
guys know LeBron James is trying to copyright Taco Tuesday?
What?
You can't fucking do that.
I read a thing where Taco Tuesday was actually a thing that somebody made up and somebody copyrighted, and it just became way too big for them to fight. And apparently LeBron James is trying to pick up that fucking
this is the issue that he's gonna,
I guess so.
This wrong has gone unrighted for too many years.
Taco Tuesday belongs to the people.
I agree. We don't really have Taco Tuesdays around. We don't really have taco
There's lots of places that have.
Tons.
Yeah.
I feel like every Mexican place has cheap tacos on Tuesday, even if they don't call it Taco
Just
Tuesday.
any pub has
Any
a Taco
pub,
Tuesday.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So what I more mean is, like, is there like a good, like, oh, we're going for Mexican food, we're going to
Yeah, there's
Taco
good taco
Bell.
places. But it's not
we're gonna live Moss.
Yeah. You know what? Taco Tuesday, Taco Bell, I don't think has a deal on tacos on Tuesday.
They used to be literally a quarter on Tuesday.
Ooh.
KFC used to have 2 pieces of chicken for $2 on Tuesdays.
Oh,
yeah,
Toonie
Toonie Tuesdays.
Tuesdays.
Yeah, that's deadly.
I think they still do.
Literally.
It's just not for Toonie anymore.
It's probably like $12.
Yeah.
$12 Tuesday.
2 pieces of chicken.
I was picking Kevin up from the airport yesterday. On the way back, we saw A&W deal 2 teen burgers, $9.99.
Oh.
Is that a deal?
That's yeah.
That's
Apparently,
$5 a
that's
burger.
$5 a burger. Yeah.
That's just a burger.
I think they're like 6, maybe 7
for
regular.
just a fucking burger.
It's a teen burger. Teen burgers
Just
are
a
very
teen
good.
burger. They're very good, but are they $7 good?
I went to Wendy's the other day when I was really hungry, and I got 2 spicy chicken sandwiches with
Hell
no
yeah.
mayo, and a
Oh,
medium
man. Weird.
medium lemonade,
That's a dry sandwich.
and a medium lemonade.
Okay.
$16.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fast
So
food is everything in Canada is expensive.
Lemonade was fucking big though.
Fast food.
A medium lemonade.
$16. You could have got a large pizza for $16 if you picked it
Ooh,
up.
you can't.
No,
You can't do that
no.
anymore.
No, Domino's had 50% pizzas on Monday. I didn't get any because I didn't have my little fucking cheese pills. But man, I was thinking about doing it anyways. I was literally thinking about doing it and just getting super fucking sick because it's like $9.99 for a large pizza
How could
or an
you
extra
not?
large pizza or whatever. I'm like,
No cheese is also an option here.
Yeah.
no, I'd rather
not
get
pizza,
sick.
then.
I would rather starve.
I'm sure
Yeah.
they can throw a little bit of that diet cheese on.
No,
you.
I'm good.
That stuff
Can you
sucks.
do vegan cheese?
I don't know what vegan cheese is.
That's like
does,
that
nobody
diet
does.
cheese.
does it have
Might as well
lactose?
shit on my pie.
Yeah, lactose free cheese, fine. Dairy free cheese, not good.
Okay.
Not fine. You can't have cheese without dairy. That's like plastic, I guess, technically or something.
Technically,
But
yeah.
Play-Doh, kind of.
yeah, it's that Daya or whatever. Daya. It's
That's what I'm talking about.
gross, dude.
It's not bad. Amber eats it all the time. And
I
I've
really hate
had
it.
And I'm like, it's a weird consistency. Like you said, it's almost like plastic.
It doesn't melt. It burns.
'Cause yeah.
It's
Insulate
gross.
your house with that shit.
You could fucking plug that water pipe up with some Daya.
Seal the
Probably
hole.
wouldn't even have to call the apartment for it. It actually doesn't melt. You need like one of those fucking oxalin torches, those like super blue ones.
No. Just a stick of cheese. Melting it off.
They're gross. Everything is so expensive here. That's why I was so excited to find the cheap beer.
What's
Yeah.
your cheap beer?
What's just cheap beer
Oh,
that I've
any
never
cheap
found? It's like $10 for an 8-pack or
Yeah,
something.
like increasingly, I'm looking for like flyers and shit and coupons. Yeah, and maybe
You should
that's
come
just
by my house. We
me
have
getting
a
old.
ton of flyers.
But like, yeah, like especially the
Outdated.
especially like the liquor store ones. I'm like, fucking right, Smirnoff raspberries on sale. I'm going here for my booze for the weekend.
Like I'm too picky. Like for me, it's always been as a rich man, like I am. It's always been like you show up and like they've marked up the vodka 100%, and you're like, well, that sucks, but give me 3, I guess.
Super duper expensive beer. Even like, I feel like $8 for a 10-pack is expensive in American terms. I remember being in America.
American terms,
Oh, yeah.
it's fucking
liquor
crazy.
is cheap in
Yeah,
America.
even in like, well, I don't know if things would be more expensive in LA or whatever, but in LA for E3 that one year, it was like 25 cents a beer or so for like brand name Rickards or whatever. I'm like, wow, I'll take 100. Like, this is dangerous.
No.
Pretty much. When we were in Hawaii back in May, we went for a Costco run for groceries and stuff. And you know that big Costco vodka that they have
Oh,
here?
yeah.
It's like $50,
Texas Mickey.
$55. Yeah. There it was like less than $20. It was like $19.95 or whatever.
What a deal.
And I'm like, fucking right, I should get more of this. And even if we don't drink it all, it's only $20.
It just makes me more.
And I drank it all.
No. It just makes me more indignant that the like event pricing at the States for like ball games and stuff is still like just like Canadian pricing. Like it's still like
Bonkers.
$18 for a fucking tall boy of beer.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you're like, "Whoa."
Well, you're in the arena. They got you. It's like,
Yeah.
well, I can't.
Yeah,
I
what are you gonna
literally
do?
cannot watch baseball sober.
Yeah.
I cannot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pay. I guess.
Man, I wish we had fucking American pricing, at least just on booze.
And cell phone plans.
And cell phone plans.
Keep our healthcare though. So it's give or take. You know, we got some good.
guess
Keep
so.
our nationwide legal weed and pretty good healthcare.
Yeah, okay.
You guys can have the dental if you want. That's our. I gotta get my teeth cleaned this spring. I'm legit going to book a trip to Mexico. I am calling Probably in a couple. I heard if you call, apparently there's a window to call in where it's like pricing might be cheaper because this is the least traveled time of the year or whatever.
Don't they like fucking sell your teeth though?
I'm just going to get cleaned. I hope they don't pull them out.
You're gonna wake up in a bathtub full of ice,
And I need an X-ray.
with no teeth and a fucking scar like right here,
No
where your
kidneys.
where your kidneys should be.
What do you do with teeth? No one's gonna take your teeth.
That's a good
Make
point.
like
There's
fucking
probably
maracas out of them.
or like if you want power over someone, you need like a fingernail or a tooth or.
But not all of the teeth.
I'm not going to get all my teeth pulled. I'm not going to get any teeth pulled. Hopefully,
This is the nightmare scenario. You're put under. Someone takes all
I
of your
see.
teeth and your left kidney.
I don't know, maybe you can. I don't know. Maybe the secret to real good dentures is you got to start with the human teeth.
Okay.
These are real. These
You
are
gotta
real
grow.
human teeth. These are dentures, but they are real human teeth.
If I am going to get dentures, I sure as shit don't want dentures I have to then take care of.
Yeah, they don't last long, and that's why the market is so lucrative, man. You got to replace them every 6 months.
Genius.
Imagine a tooth farm where they just
Gross.
grew-
I don't. Gross.
That's as far as we're gonna go with
Gross.
that.
Even just like the concept of imagining teeth is gross. Like more than one tooth. A tooth by itself on the table, kind of gross.
Oh, yeah.
3 teeth, fucking disgusting. Like exponentially grosser.
Yeah, because there's a weird story behind that for sure. Where the fuck are there 3 teeth on this table right now, Matt?
I have to go. I don't know.
Starting a farm.
Later.
No.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Yeah.
I imagine it looks like the Stranger Things 2 monsters. The season 2? Yeah,
Yeah,
just the
yeah.
blobs of
Oh yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Like some fucking teeth rotating over here.
Yep.
and- yeah. I like that monster design a lot.
That's good.
It's good. The oozes. That's how oozes in D&D look up here.
I finally
Point in my
finished Stranger Things
Yeah,
season 3.
you were on like the last couple
Right.
Yeah,
episodes.
yeah.
What do you think?
It's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You didn't like
It's
the end?
okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
Season 4 will probably be okay also.
Sure, and I'll watch it. The characters and the situations are likable enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like Dustin. I don't like Dustin.
I think Dustin had a bad year.
That's not
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's probably totally fair.
Yeah.
Didn't like him this season.
Dustin was really good in the previous ones. This one, not so much. Because I just think he got forced in that stupid, like, Russian angle.
Well, and
with
he's fucking
Dustin
hanging
and
out
Steve.
with Steve. Like Steve's fucking awesome. I
Steve's
love
the best.
Steve.
Steve and Robin?
Steve the
Fantastic.
Hair, whatever
Oh,
his
yeah,
name.
Robin.
Yeah.
Robin was cool.
Oh, yeah.
Robin was pretty cool too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Robin-
I like
Robin's
Robin.
It was an okay series. Season, I mean.
It was okay.
I
Definitely
watched all the boys.
Yeah, Warren sent me a
Yeah.
big thing.
Yeah.
No spoilers here.
No spoilers.
I started watching that too, and I really, really liked the very beginning. I like
Yeah.
the premise of
good.
It's
it.
fucking good.
Yeah.
Even
Stay strong throughout.
even the like the stinger for the production company they do is totally a riff on the nature of that show. It
I
is
didn't realize
brilliantly
until
done.
like episode 7 that it was based on a comic book.
I only knew that because somebody in
Yeah.
chat told me. I had no idea.
I sort of knew that, and I kind of want to check out that comic book. But I mean, like, I don't know. It all reminds me of the Watchmen, anyways.
Sure.
Yeah.
Except they're literally the Justice League in The Boys.
Yeah.
There's Batman and Superman and
Yeah.
Wonder Woman
Yeah.
and
And Aquaman.
yeah, and The Flash.
Oh, that dolphin scene. Holy
Oh,
fuck,
it's
that
a
was
great
funny.
scene.
That was very funny.
It's a great show.
All right.
It was very good. Very good, very good.
Video games.
Oh.
Gentlemen, who's got them?
I played one of the PAX 10. Woohoo!
What do you know? All the packs then?
No,
Which
no
one?
idea.
Oh, okay.
As a mobile free to play one, up to a certain point, the people
Free to start.
free to start. Yes, sorry, not to play.
Oh, sorry, I just threw up a little bit.
Yep. And it's a math game. It's
Okay,
fantastic.
okay,
So it's called the Devil's Calculator.
okay.
Okay.
So there's some sort of scene happening in the background. You're a child doing a math test, but then your calculator breaks, and then
Everyone's nightmare.
everything you put in to solve for your test needs to finish as 666.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's special buttons on your calculator. You start off with just the delta or the diamond. You'll type in a number, press the delta, and then hit equals, and then it'll change your number somehow, following some sort of pattern. So you go like 0,
okay.
enter, 1, enter, 2, enter, kind of figure it out,
Right.
and then solve for 666.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
gotcha.
I get
So it's
it.
a random pattern every single level. For the first 22, 23 levels are free.
And then the next, whatever 666 minus 23 is,
Yeah.
you got to pay for.
You got to pay for it. I didn't want to pay the $4, so it's cool. Ate up some time.
Do you know what $4 would have got you?
Probably just everything else.
Everything else.
Yeah. There's 3 different function buttons. So this delta who functions just on X, There's the psi, which does X and Y stuff,
Oh,
and then
boy.
there's the
This is like real
the
deal.
phi, which,
We're not fucking around like 2 + 2.
Oh no.
We're
Well,
talking
the first one, yeah.
coordinates and
Yeah.
Can you spell boobies in it?
You can spell boobies in it.
Okay.
Yep. Unless that button's on fire, then you can't spell boobies.
ooh.
Devil's calculator.
The devil's calculator.
That sounds okay.
That's a fun
Yeah.
little math game.
I would pay $5 for a good, or $4 for a good cell phone game if they never tried to get any more money out of me after I bought it.
I think I might as well.
But as soon as I spend $4, and then they say you could also buy these gems, then I'm
Nope.
like,
It's like,
fuck,
no thanks.
break my phone.
Uninstall right now.
What was how to build a boat? To build a boat? How to
didn't
build a
play
boat?
Was that like that?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it was I don't want to say it was like $5.
And then they kept trying to sell you.
No, it was just $5. You got it. It
Oh,
was
I see.
good.
Okay.
And
it was in the good way.
maybe I'm saying the wrong game. Millions?
Crossy Road.
It was like it's an RPG. Fuck, I'm never gonna be able to do
All
this. I'm never gonna be able to do this.
Let's pretend it never happened.
Yeah.
Move on.
Fallout Shelters was decent. It only urged you to buy like bottle caps or something to upgrade.
That's
all
the
your
same
shit.
thing. That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The least buggy Fallout game in 10 years.
Well,
The
yeah.
Devil's Calculator.
Calculator.
Did you go to PAX? You did not go to PAX, right?
They're playing it at PAX, and some people got stuck at certain levels. Some people got stuck further on. So they challenged me to see how far I could get without getting stuck. And I dominated the freedom play.
Mr.
I got through all
Engineering
20.
degree?
Yes. I know, big deal. I know the maths.
The Devil's Engineering.
The Devils, yeah.
A lot of them you could just throw your face against and eventually get it. Just
Just try
1
every
1 1
number.
1. Damn.
Yeah.
1 1 1 2. Damn.
That is
Crack
how I
in the
like
safe.
to, that is how I like to do them all, yep.
No.
Did you know there's 9 digits? There's 3 combinations. That's
10 digits.
or oh yeah, I guess 0 to 9. That's what is that? 1,000 possible combinations?
Yep.
That's a lot.
Easy.
As soon
And
as you
then
add one
there's
more
negatives.
digit, then it's 10,000 possible combinations.
Negatives, decimal places.
Okay.
Negatives.
You get out of here with your devil's witchcraft number thing.
It's fun. If you like math and little puzzle games, check it out.
I used to like
And
math.
the rest of the PAX 10.
I used
I'm
to like
sure they're
math, too.
great.
I like
Whatever they
simple
are.
math.
When I was good at math and doing math
Yeah.
every day,
Yeah.
I kind of liked math.
Yeah.
But
I can tell you how much water was in the pool.
oh sure, yeah. You want to cut a slice out of that cylinder? I used to know how to do that. Just
Mhm.
fucking
Solve
something.
for X.
I remember
Fucking-
Bryce writing fucking math homework on the hotel windows when we were in Turkey, like he's gone insane.
Yeah.
Nah, yes.
And I think literally
Didn't
was
have
like,
scrap paper.
yes, was literally like, I haven't gone insane. I just don't have any scrap paper. So I was like drawing on our balcony windows, writing out equations and
Yep.
shit.
What you gonna do?
Calculus was a big deal.
Had to get what kind of douchebag teacher gives us homework over a fucking
Yeah,
Greece
that-
trip?
That
Also,
was my
yes.
next question. Like, who the
Fucking
fuck?
guy.
Yeah.
Listen, grade 12 is apparently pretty serious business.
Okay.
Matt had to sneak out and fight the lava monster
No.
at a certain point.
Yeah,
In
it
Turkey.
was tough. Yeah, it was in
That
Greece.
was
It was in
Venice.
Greece.
I was in-
That was in Venice. We
Yeah.
stopped in Venice. The first part of it in
My whole reference.
Oh,
is
that's not
kinda
right.
fucked.
No.
we stopped in Rome.
Yeah, we stopped in
Falling apart.
Never
This is all-
mind.
this is
an
all
Italy
falling
airport.
apart.
Yeah, and then that's all of Italy we saw.
But anyways, I'm from another dimension, and I'm here to help save Earth 621 or whatever the fuck.
That Spider-Man is kind of a bummer, hey?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The
Well,
movie
welcome.
or the whole
No,
situation?
the whole situation.
yeah.
no, the movie was
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah,
the
I really liked
situation
the
Yeah,
movie.
sorry.
sucks.
The situation. Because we were watching Infinity War. I'm like, fuck, Spider-Man was good in that. And oh, shit, it's too bad.
Fuck, Infinity War is great.
Yep.
Oh,
That
so
movie
good.
my favorite
I think so, too.
I like Far From Home. I like that most
As
recent
a-
Spider-Man.
for like all Marvel movies.
It's the most recent. I need to let it lie
Yeah.
for a while
Yeah,
because it's
that's
the most
always the
recent,
thing.
so
Yeah.
it's hard to know if it's just the newest or.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole Sony thing is, I think it's just a bunch of corporate BS probably, and it'll work itself out.
Don't worry.
I feel like it will, too. But also, like, if they're just being like shitheads to each other, it might not.
The almighty dollar trumps all.
true.
The almighty dollar beats all.
Don't
Well,
bet
we'll
that
see.
beat all.
We'll see.
The way, without getting into any spoilers, the way that Spider-Man ended lends itself to maybe Spider-Man going away for a bit. So
Yeah,
they
that'd
could
be okay.
Yeah.
He could be a
a recluse.
The way it ended, that was
Oh.
the greatest I've ever felt coming out of a movie.
People in the theater were just climbing over their chairs, fucking waving their fists at the
Trampling
screen.
one another, and then like a few weeks later, it's like, oh, by the way, Spider-Man's out of the MCU. Like, oh
What about Jake?
yeah. What about Jake.
What
I like Jake. Jake was fine in that movie.
Yeah.
It's great in that movie.
He was really good.
I really liked it.
I like Jake as a. How old is Jake Gyllenhaal?
Older, much older.
He's like 40.
I'd say 40, mid 40s.
Mid to upper 40.
Okay.
Price is Right rules. Here we go.
Ooh,
Check them out. Brando, got a guess.
I got
40 even.
47.
Ooh.
4-0.
48.
I'm thinking 46.
Oh, 48's too old. 48's too
1 year old Bob. How come nobody did the 1 year old? You should have done 1 year
Should
old.
have done 1 year old. 1 year old would have won it. He's only 38.
Okay.
Holy
Shit.
Okay.
My apologies, Mr.
38?
Gyllenhaal.
38.
I was gonna say because he was like
39 in December.
he was the Prince of Persia not all that long ago. He's young and buff and he's Chesty Jake.
Jake.
That's what they call him.
That's what they call him.
Signs, I think, was the first thing I ever saw him in.
I don't think I've ever seen Signs.
He was in Signs?
Someone fact check that.
Mel Gibson.
I don't think he was in
Joaquin
Signs.
Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix. Never mind.
Is that the one with the
No.
Dakota Fanning?
I'm
Is that the
thinking
girl?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not
that
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Joker looks so good, you guys.
Yeah.
It's
Been
been
Killing it.
Holy
He's
shit.
been winning awards and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been getting like high critical praise from when it fucking showed at like
It doesn't look good.
I think it looks
That trailer looks like trash.
awesome. What?
Price. What?
Yeah.
Are we talking about the same trailer where like
the first and the second?
like
all
where,
of them.
where like a sign gets broken over someone's back like it's wrestling?
That's pretty cool.
Price. That's crazy
I
talk.
can't-
that
This
also
movie
wouldn't
looks
hurt.
insane.
It looks like it's gonna be real slow.
Maybe.
Real.
I think it's
slow.
gonna. Yeah, it's gonna be more of a psychological
yeah,
thing.
that's what I'm digging. That's
So, but
absolutely
here's
what I'm
my-
digging.
The
Here's
sarcasm
my
still
thing.
has me on the hook. So
Do you know what I want? I want the whole thing to not be Joker's origin story. I want them to pull the fucking carpet under.
Big.
Because my biggest thing when this was coming out was like, this looks really good, but the coolest thing about Joker was he didn't
Yeah.
have, like, there was no concrete origin of him. So I want this whole thing to be this whole big setup, and then it turns out this guy's not the fucking Joker.
Yeah,
or
that
something.
would be the perfect like that would be so on theme
Yeah.
for a Joker movie
Yeah.
that
That's
I'm buying
actually
I'm
cool.
buying into that
That's a
now
cool
as
thought.
well. That'd be dope. Do you
That's what I
think
want.
Batman appears at
No,
all?
no.
Thomas Wayne does.
I think Thomas Wayne's that
Oh,
old
okay.
guy there, and then I think that little boy is Bruce Wayne.
Oh, so they're like really setting it up then. Like
I
Joker knew Thomas Wayne and
I think it's. I think. Well, they've said it was like a standalone movie, so I don't think they're gonna carry on.
but
for this.
it being like Joker's backstory of like apparently if he's involved he was involved with Batman's parents in a weird coincidental way and
that's
that's weird.
It's fascinating stuff.
I wonder if they is this part is there like an overarching DC? So like theoretically, could the Waynes be the like bad guy? Could the Waynes be the gangsters like they were in the Telltale series? Like could they do something different?
I
where
hope that'd be cool. They
maybe-
should really.
because if they show Thomas Wayne and they show Bruce, is the Joker gonna kill Thomas Wayne? And like that's how we're gonna have our Uncle Ben moment, but with Thomas Wayne.
I don't
and-
know. I really hope they don't go down that road. I really hope that it like all this Joker stuff. What's up?
Nothing. Kevin
that?
is like just getting into WoW. I guess I don't know. He might be listening to us.
I really hope that the Joker stuff is kind of standalone-y. And to Brando's point, like
my favorite
Joker's,
sandwich meat.
Standalone.
the Joker's past has always been shrouded in mystery and has always been kind of ambiguous and vague. And having this as like kind of not necessarily definitive, but like it's because it's getting so much like press and like you have Joaquin Phoenix acting as or performing as him, like it could be taken as definitive. But yeah, I kind of don't like that idea either.
What is a different Joker movie? What if another Joker movie comes out with the same title and just a completely different actor, different story, maybe same characters?
I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
That'd be
I'm
funny.
ready. I'm ready for movies to get weird again.
They
You
just
know?
have the exact same name, but it's a different
Yeah,
Joker and
yeah.
it's a different origin story.
Totally.
Just playing right into it again.
Exactly, and
Oh,
then
that's
because
good.
Joker has no origin story,
Extra meta.
and so you hear a different version of the origin story every. I mean, I'm just listen. I don't want them to make 500 Joker. I don't want Joker to become Assassin's Creeds and have one every year or whatever. But I don't know. Just thinking
What
of
if they
ways.
did and they were all great, but they were all different origin stories?
That would be so dope.
That'd be fucking dope.
That would be so dope.
I can't wait to see it too. That's
That
out now.
movie looks so fucking
Oh,
scary,
yeah.
man.
Let's go see it. We should see it together.
I don't think so.
No,
I
let's
like.
get all baked. Oh, let's get all baked, and let's go fucking.
I don't know.
Let's
Like
go get
watching
scared
scary
together.
movies in a theater, I don't like the idea of because when I watch scary movies at home, like I have the option to pause it and kind of like
Do you-
release the tension and like breathe and like maybe take a break.
That was a weird release. Do you though? Do you pause?
Yeah.
and then yeah. Brandon on the same place.
Not
Pause
like that.
and then fully release the
Just
tension.
fucking pause it when the fucking girl's head gets cut off and be like,
I gotta jerk off. I gotta release this tension.
that's not how I do it. I just be like, that was a little too much.
Even the way you like
I'm gonna-
sat back.
I agree with you. In fact, when we watched Hereditary, we just like kind of
Fun.
joked our way through
100%
the whole
of the way through.
Yeah, because it makes you feel better.
Yeah,
Makes the whole thing seem light.
I was uncomfortable and glad that people were cracking wise.
Yeah. But when you're in the theater, for better and for worse, it feels like you're just strapped in and you're fucking like,
Let's do it.
it's getting scary and you're like, I can't fucking make a joke right now. There's people watching the movie.
What kind of like a get scared? Do you know, like, what was your get scared by media response? Are you guys like
Take a little jump.
little jump?
Yeah.
I swear I go,
like
oh
tense.
fuck, I can't help myself
I'm like tense.
Yeah, just-
and then like when things happen,
and
like,
don't move. I'm like one of those fucking, you know, those fainting goats. I'm like a fainting goat where it's like sees up like ah!
Slowly tip over.
Yeah. If it was a real emergency, I would slowly tip over.
Just hope they don't notice me.
I
Yeah.
heard that movie is kind of average. Not bad.
It too.
It too. But I heard that Bill Hader is very good in it.
Bill.
No.
Love Bill Hader.
SNL's Bill Hader.
The Boys, Bill Hader. Oh, that's not Bill Hader. Nope.
No.
Barry.
Barry.
Bori. He's Bill. Yeah, have you watched Barry? You should.
I
look into
wanna watch Barry.
Barry's quite good.
Yeah, I've heard.
But yeah, SNL's Bill Hader.
Okay.
In my
He's
defense,
grown up Richie.
the dude
Right, I think you
in
talked
The
about that.
Boys looks exactly like Bill Hader.
He does look a lot like Bill
and I
Hader.
thought it
Like,
was until I
way
started
younger.
watching that show. I thought
But,
I literally
yeah.
thought it was Bill Hader, but like made young
Yeah.
digitally.
Which guy in The Boys is?
The main
young-
character.
Oh,
Who's that?
kind of.
That's Bill Hader.
That's
No.
not
No,
Bill
that's
Hader,
not Bill
but
Hader,
he
but
looks
he
a
looks
lot
a
like
lot
Bill
like
Hader.
Bill
Okay,
Hader.
I get what you're saying.
In the trailers, until I started watching The Boys, I thought it starred Bill Hader. I was like,
I
oh,
see.
this isn't Bill Hader. What
He's
the
got the
fuck?
same confused eyes.
Yeah, very similar
Yeah.
face. You know,
People explode really good in The Boys.
Oh yeah.
it's gross.
It's
You think that's how
real
people
gross.
explode in real
Funny.
life?
Well, I mean,
I was
when you
thinking
get run
about
through,
that, being like, what would it really like if somebody got dissolved with laser eyes or like cut like a big like laser eye, like
Oh yeah, those are the
across.
best ones where it's clean cuts.
Like,
them.
what would this actually look like?
Yeah, probably like that.
Yeah, it's gross. That
It
show
is
is
gross.
fucking
That-
gross
it
in some
gets like
spots.
super graphic for sure.
There's like an episode where you're like,
I don't think the first death is how it would happen in real life, but it still worked, I guess.
yeah,
The one,
Especially
from
with
the,
the
one, the
hands.
one from the trailer. Yeah,
Yeah,
with the hands. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
yeah. Man, we're all over the place.
Yeah, we are.
What was that game? Who we were just talking about a game? Which
Nope.
game was it?
There
we
was no
were
game.
previous to this.
Talking about the Devil's
Devil's
Calculator.
Calculator.
And then we just kind of flew off.
Perfect.
Okay.
Just making sure we hit
How
the
do we get
games.
there?
Just making sure we hit the games.
I don't have
Spider-Man.
They talked about Spider-Man,
Naturally
Oh,
proceeded.
yeah.
It 2.
Yeah.
Movies. It's the beautiful, organic, flowing nature of this show. You know.
Yeah.
Just a little scatterbrained. It's fine.
Yeah, it's like like a
right, because the math equations in Greece.
right. Yes, of course. That's right. I had to get out and,
And then-
fight the fire monster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Night Monkey.
Great.
It is
Night
amazing how
monkey.
you can get from one place to another.
Equation.
I'm still over here laughing about Say Maloney or whatever the fuck the sound.
Standalone.
That was tough because I feel like Oliver actively engaged me in the conversation after.
And then he kept
And
talking,
you guys
and
are
I was
allowed
just
to
laughing.
laugh. You guys are allowed to laugh. I want to laugh, but I'm looking at Oliver.
Oh shit! I hope there's a break so I can say how great that joke was. But we did it here. Call back to a few minutes ago. Standalone. Mwah. Oh mercy. You play anything else other than the Devil's Calculator?
Nope, just the usual staples. That's it
Yeah.
for me.
Mr. OJ shaking his head.
No,
nay,
it's just a
nay.
lot of TV and stuff.
What's
Since
good?
last time, yeah, we talked about Stranger Things, The Boys we've been watching. I do want to watch Barry.
It's
I've
good.
heard, nothing but good shit about that
It's
show.
real good. Yeah.
What's that one on?
HBO?
HBO.
I gotta get Crave.
There,
I'm trying to.
I'll put you in touch with a man.
there you go. Yeah.
You should talk to that man.
I'm trying to because I know Disney's coming out and Disney's gonna be different because it's gonna be like 3 things that I need to watch all the way through right off the hop, but I don't need to watch a huge portion of that catalog. But I'm still trying to like knock off like I feel like I'm almost like trying to finish homework
Clear up some
comes out,
TV
where
time.
where I'm like, okay, what do I and part of it's because I'm like, well, maybe I can drop Netflix or something.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's all drop Netflix.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Fuck Netflix.
and then I'll probably flip back. Like it's always like I get through everything that I want to watch, and then I just leave it alone.
Yeah,
for a long
wait for
time.
some new series
Yeah,
or
wait
new
for a couple new
seasons or-
seasons
yeah.
and new stuff. And
That's the way to do it.
so that's what I'm doing right now. Is I'm watching Mindhunter.
Mindhunter.
Yeah. I just started that. I'm on like episode 3, but that seems really good.
Of the second season?
Of the first season.
The first season.
Yeah.
Season. Good.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's fucking good. It's a good show.
Yes, it is.
Everyone should watch Mindhunter.
Yeah.
It's also
So
very
weird. Makes
makes
me
you
uncomfortable
yeah.
a lot. Like in ways that I can't quite even quantify. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, Big Ed is great, but also Big Ed is
Also,
the
yeah.
fucking worst.
Yeah, he's a real life fucking bad guy. Super bad guy.
Is he real? Like I know
all these guys are real.
all the killers
yeah.
are, because I know they've done like they do like how close is it to the actual interview or whatever. So I know a couple of the killers in there,
And that guy that
like Manson. I think they talked to in 2.
in the cold opens of the first season. I don't know if you guys are familiar with your true crime stuff, but that's the BTK killer. And he's fucked up
Oh
too.
yeah. He even I won't say anything. He hasn't killed. Yeah, I'm in the 2nd season, and the man has yet to kill.
No, I think that's a slow burn that they're intending for.
Super
maybe.
slow. He's like still. I won't say anything. I'm real early in season 2, but he's still like. It's him sharpening a pencil or whatever. Like, oh, that's how a crazy person sharpens a pencil. I can tell.
Then you're self-conscious about how you
That's a
sharpen
great
your
show.
pencils.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
no.
need to get started on 2nd season too.
TV's
Yeah,
good
2nd
right
season
now.
as well. Yeah.
TV's fucking good right
it's
now.
more so the hockey season's starting, and that's the only reason I have cable at this point.
Yeah.
But whenever the hockey season's not on, I spend a lot of my time wondering why the fuck I have cable.
There's no like a la carte way to get hockey games.
You can get the entire NHL season for every NHL team except for the one in your region.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
bullshit. I
Like
heard that.
just here or literally everywhere.
I assume it's the same region lock procedures in a lot of cities, but wow, yeah. But for for me in Edmonton, I can get NHL Center Ice, which is their premium package, where it's got all the games playing and the little like box scores and little fake arenas, and then you can click on it and actually watch the live game, and you can pick which feed you want. You can get the like Las Vegas commentators or the LA commentators, and but not the Oilers.
Oh, I
Is
see
it
what
like
you're saying.
local
Yeah.
games are on local cable? Is the
Yeah.
idea?
Well, yeah, they're on
Or, like,
they're on
CTV
they're on like Sportsnet West, so like the regional sports broadcasters.
That's so fucking. It's like the internet companies, cable companies, like what?
It's mean, 'cause
That
they-
is literally
they know.
that is mean.
Like I could buy that entire package, not watch a single game other than Oilers games, and I would save huge on my cable.
There's got to be.
There's got to be a better way.
There's got to be
There
some
is an
slightly
illegal
more
way.
nefarious.
Yeah, how about those illegal ways? Like, how illegal are we
Listen, the
talking?
word illegal gets thrown around a
I
lot
know.
these days.
Here's the problem: is half the fun of watching sports is I have my little group that watches the Oilers game with me, and there is no illegal way to watch it where I can keep up with cable.
Yeah.
You know,
So
Live
they're
is live,
always
right?
texting me, "Oh, if I get scored," I'm like, "Oh,
you might be second
okay,
or
now
two
it's
behind.
oh yeah, we're gonna
Ice.
yeah."
Yeah, you're right.
And for sports, I get that.
Yeah.
But also, like, you mentioned canceling Netflix and having to get Crave or whatever. I'm like, I mean, I've been streaming a lot of things. How much trouble can I get into streaming things nowadays?
They can kill you.
You want to wake up in a bathtub with no teeth and
my
no
teeth
kidney?
and my kidneys.
That's how they get there. If they think you owe them money, that's how they get you. I'm not prepared to answer these questions
Yeah,
live
I
on
know,
the
I
internet,
know.
Oliver. Listen, there are lots of. All I'll say is illegally downloading things is obviously illegal. Don't do it. Second thought, completely different line of thinking. There are lots of good free. They're called VPNs, ways to just hide your
think we should do
remain
that.
anonymous on the internet.
I really think we should do that.
It's two completely separate thoughts.
Yeah,
Nothing, no
absolutely.
connector
Absolutely.
between. I wouldn't think too much about them.
Going back to the legal TV talk, this Disney Plus thing looks fucking awesome, and
It
everything
does.
that Marvel wants to release, I'm like all over.
And I know it's like they get in cheap and then they'll jack the price up at some point. But boy, all I can see right now is fucking that $8.99 number or whatever the fuck it is, and be like, man, that's so cheap.
That sounds
Don't worry.
fucking
When
cheap.
they get too expensive and the exodus starts to leave Disney, Plus, right? Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, yeah.
Then Netflix will be like, "Hey, we're having a sale. Sign up
Yeah.
for a year. It's only $20 or whatever."
That's
And
right.
we'll just play the two against each other. It's
That's right.
perfect. This is why
We have all the power.
exactly. Well, this is why it's just like the Epic Store thing, where it's just like that. We're
It's good
imagine
that they
Disney
exist.
Plus is. It's good that they exist.
Yeah.
It
It is.
It is
good that they
It is-
exist.
There are still
Yes.
only like 2 or 3. It is still totally a monopoly owned by like 3 or 4
Right.
different providers, but at least it's not one.
That's true.
I
Yep.
guess
Every provider
Yet.
is.
at least
yep.
it's not all Disney yet.
Soon.
Soon, yeah.
They'll have Spider-Man soon.
Spider-Man will work itself out. Don't worry about that thing. You play any video games, Brandon Lynch?
I played several.
I see several. You played the Man of Medan.
Yes. Is it man or men?
Man.
It's the Man of Medan.
It is the Man of Medan. That is the name of a
Medan.
ship, I believe.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Okay.
The ship.
Is it good? I want to play it.
I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it not nearly as much as I liked
Until Dawn.
Until Dawn. I think Warren was a lot hotter on it than I was.
Did you guys play that together?
We did. We did
The
like
pass
the,
off?
the
The
pass
passing?
off.
Nice.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I had 2 characters. He had 3, and I got one of mine killed very early. In
Very
fact,
early.
I looked it up, and it was the statistically
Literal first chance?
you could kill anyone.
Nice.
So that ended up with me only playing about 25% of the game, but that didn't bother me at all. Like I was sitting out there, like I don't need to play those
Yeah.
games
You don't need
to
to
enjoy
slowly
the game, right?
fucking wander around with that like movement that makes
Yeah,
Red Dead feel
exactly.
tight.
I mean, like Warren was saying, because he went on a string where he played for like an hour straight because he had 3 characters out of the 4 we still had control of, and he's like, I don't really care if you want to just play this character, and I'm like, Warren, I might be
also
enjoying
don't
this
really
more not
care.
playing it. So
I played through it co-op where 2 players. I played online with somebody else where you're both always playing simultaneously different characters,
Right.
which was pretty weird.
and I heard that they do some cool stuff with that. Well, I think Warren told me through watching you that they do some cool stuff with that
Yeah.
in terms of one person being able to see stuff and one person not being able to see stuff, and
Totally.
kind of playing with perspective that way. That would have been a cool way to play, except I did not want to pay $40.
Yeah,
for this
no,
video
totally-
game,
totally
so-
fair.
Yeah, it's $40.
And I'll say
Yeah.
if you're gonna play it that
cheap.
way, it's hard to know. Well, so I played it with someone who had already played it before.
Okay.
Had played it through, but wanted to see the other side. So he's like, okay, you start as so you pick a character to start as at the beginning, and I think that decides who gets which characters. And you're
Okay.
kind of switching. Where like I don't remember any of the names. I'm Sean Ashmore at the beginning, and now you're Sean Ashmore in the middle, and I'm Sean Ashmore again at the end.
Gotcha.
And, but when we were playing, because
Sean Ashmore didn't have a middle or end for me.
oh boy, did you press get off the boat when you have to get off the? Maybe don't say, but I thought about that choice more than any other choice in the game.
Yeah.
So we were playing it simultaneously, and there are these scenes where like you are affecting things in the other person's scene. So for example, if I run over a floor and it collapses and you're downstairs, you might be under that floor. You might see that floor collapse, or it might collapse on you, or like that is not a real. Like, I just made that up because I don't want to spoil anything.
Right.
But it's that type of shit.
Right.
And I don't know if it's because the person who I was playing with had played before, or because I had played Until Dawn, so it's sort of kind of sort of new. It's same writers, same directors, like sort of knew the gimmick, maybe a little bit to look for. But we figured out the gimmick to the game on like literally the first scene, where I'm like, oh, what if this is happening? And the other dude didn't say anything in such a way that I'm like, fuck, this is
That's happening,
exactly. And then like halfway through the game, we found a collectible. It's like, this is what's happening. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So we didn't lose a single character.
Wow.
Until the very, very end, where the person I was playing with, a decision you make very early in the game fucking came back to haunt us. Like the most benign, innocuous thing that we never thought about again came back at the very end and got a character killed.
So the story didn't really grab me. The flow of the game I thought was in terms of like the story beats, like in terms of the scary stuff. I thought that stuff was really good.
Yeah.
I thought they scared you in very good creative ways, but the overarching narrative, I was very much like, I don't know if I really care what happened on this boat.
And it's
so much
compared to Until Dawn, like it feels very, very short. It was like it took us maybe 3.5, maybe 4 hours.
And I think another part of it was I was playing with Warren, and if I had not been playing with Warren, I probably would have spent a ton of time reading every book
Oh, yeah.
and reading everything I found, because that's how I play video games.
Yep.
Sometimes I'll read it twice if I read it and I'm like, what the fuck does this even mean? Then I'll go back and read it again. Whereas Warren reads fast. And I could tell when he was done, and I was like rereading one of the lines like in the first paragraph out of 3, and I'm like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
You guys should read it out loud in the
voices.
Well,
Nice.
just in that situation with those guys, sure, in the voices, absolutely, but
I thought the way it was stitching together all the choices and everything, where it was cutting from scene to scene, and you were like kind of quick timing your way through, and the game was like calculating what you were doing. It was very, very choppy for us.
yeah.
It was like you'd run and then you take the left turn and then the game would freeze up for a second.
Yeah.
And then you'd start going again and then it would be like jump over this desk and you jump over the desk and it would like freeze up for a second while it was like figuring out like what is this? Okay, what does that mean? Do you have the item to jump over the desk
that
or
sucks.
like it was choppy like that. There was one instance where there was a guy. Without getting into it, there were 3 people, and one guy was just not there.
Yep.
For a little while.
Like toward the beginning-ish of the game.
Nope, ours was very close to the end.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where one of the main characters a wall collapses or the roof, and a bunch of water rushes in. I think it was a door. Someone opens a door and a bunch of water rushes in.
I never saw that. Whatever this scene was, I never saw it in my game.
And in the water was one of the characters.
Like a corpse?
No, like one of the live characters. Like
Okay.
it seemed like they were in some sort of water peril. Like the room was filling up, and then we just at the nick of time opened the door, and everyone came pouring out. Except the second person who was in that room was nowhere to be seen. Even though the last time we had seen them, they were together. They did not come out of that room, and then eventually at the end, they all
showed back
all
up.
showed back up. But it seemed like I was like, am I missing? So what happened to this character?
Or like, so I've heard. I initially, because there was one, we saw a character who just had blood coming from their, suddenly in one scene just had blood coming from their head, and I'm like, oh, weird, dude, must have banged his head off screen or something.
Right.
And I've heard enough reports now from you, from other podcasts, from other people who played this. It sounds like it's maybe a little buggy and like kind of mixes up the choices sometimes, where you'll get to a part of the game and it'll think that Sean Ashmore is gone, so he'll just be gone from a scene.
Right.
But then it'll figure its shit out and be like, well, no, he didn't die. He's supposed to be here. He's actually back.
Right.
In the next scene where we had some phantom unexplained shit. But also the nature of the story they're telling is, I can't say what it is. It could be bugs. It could be like, we'll tell them that's how the game is supposed to be.
Sure.
It's people going crazy.
It felt,
you know what I mean?
It felt like there was just a few times where I was like, this game, it feels like they bungled up some of our previous choices.
Yeah. We had
and didn't
things
properly
and-
build the thread to get from, but...
We played on...
And that's frustrating because it's a game about that.
Totally.
It's a game where you want to see every choice. Like, you want to go back and make the opposite choice every time to see how it changes it.
Yeah. Ours was like benign enough. It was just like a little bit of blood trickling from my head. They were like, oh, that's weird. When did that happen?
I also thought they have like that compass system, the heading or whatever, to kind of show you how your like some of the choices you make can kind of stack up. Like,
oh, okay.
Like if
the choice, like
it's like
the selector.
Yeah, it's like I think it was your heading, and it's based on a compass. Like the menu slot was called headings.
Yeah.
And you go and it's like these 6 or 8.
Your heading has been updated or whatever.
Right, and it would be like, oh, you found this pipe, and then it's like, oh, now this person has the pipe because you didn't take the pipe, and now like, I thought they did the same thing in Until Dawn, and I thought they did it way better in Until Dawn, where they kind of tied up the loose end at the moment where it no longer became an issue, like where it's like nothing came of this, ignore it. Whereas I found myself always going into those heading things like, okay, I should probably remember that this person has the gas mask. That seems important.
Yeah.
And then you get to the end of the game and not once did the gas mask ever come into play. And you're like, oh.
I had the gas mask come into play.
We didn't. We had the gas mask, but it did not come into play.
I had a wrench that I couldn't get to at a spot, and then it opened up later. It was like a bridge or something, or like debris collapsed, so we could get to it later.
Right.
And then could not find that fucking wrench, which damn sure I was in the right room.
Yeah.
Like up and down the whole thing for like, I want to say 40 minutes, because I'm like, no, dude, I have to find. I know this wrench is here. I know this wrench is here. I know it's gonna save this character's life. I have to find the wrench. Couldn't find the wrench.
My last little complaint is that it felt like we only lost one character. It was the early one, and it was on a QuickTime event. It sounds like a lot of the deaths are on failed QuickTime events. I would way rather the deaths be like on failed choices
Yeah.
and stuff, which it felt like Until Dawn did a way better job.
It's always hard to like. I understand where you're coming from on that, but like it's sometimes the wrong choice is not obvious in a way that the quick time event is always obvious.
But
Yeah.
the wrong choice sometimes you're like, oh, why did that end in?
I feel like
oh.
that way of thinking is like indicative of thinking a successful playthrough is keeping everyone alive.
Totally.
Which is not how I play these games. I'm like, people should die. The more the merrier if I'm playing this game. But I like it when they make me feel like I made a really bad choice and it got someone killed. I don't like when I feel like I was supposed to tap something and instead I tried to hold it and it got someone killed.
I also
Yeah.
we had a couple of those too.
Well, Until Dawn
I'm not
still
playing
like
those
that.
games for my Twitch reflexes on button pushes.
Yeah.
At the end of Until Dawn,
Yeah,
it certainly got like
the
that.
opposite.
But like it's I see where it's like if you fail one quick time event in Man of Medan, it's because it's shorter. I feel like where Until Dawn, like it feels like characters have strikes where like this character can take 2 hits. If they take a third, they're fucked. And Until Dawn, because Man of Medan is so much shorter, and maybe it's just because we played co-op. I don't know if it's longer in the like passing off mode. In the passing off mode, are events happening concurrently where like I'm playing this scene, like okay, this scene starts at 1 p.m. and then it's gonna take me. Now I'm at 1 p.m. on this scene, and like presumably this person is running up the stairs while this person is. I'm playing them now doing something else.
We didn't find a lot of situations where it's like, oh, and then they come together, but it was
So because in the co-op, it was like almost always us coming together there,
Right.
and I'll tell you
it
after.
almost sounds like two
'Cause, like,
totally different games.
It
depending on
totally
how you play
does
it.
because I can't talk about the gimmick at all. But
We can talk about that after.
yeah, we
that.
I
How long
wish
did
we
it
wouldn't have.
take you and Warren to play it that way, passing it off?
4 or 5 hours
Yeah,
probably.
we were. I feel like we were on the
Yeah.
lighter side of 4,
Right.
maybe like 3:45 or something. It was
Yeah.
real
We
short.
took a couple like just quick breaks, but
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
it was short, but I mean it's $30 and like
40.
40.
in Canada it's 40. That's right. I sort of get the sense that they're maybe like feeling out their pipeline a little bit, their tech, like get an episode out. See, it is nothing to write home about, but it is a very cool proof of concept. I am super stoked for the next one.
Yeah.
Was not sort of feeling the scene and the setting and the story. The next one just seems fucking crazy from the trailer they show.
Did they show a trailer?
Yeah, at the very end. They,
Oh, sweet.
what's it called? Little Hope or something. Something Hope.
The
I
guy
really-
from Bandersnatch is in it.
Ooh,
Which
Oh
guy?
shit.
The,
Not the main
tech guy?
guy, the guy who you can make jump off the balcony.
yeah, that guy's been in a lot of shit lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. They have a good like Peter Stormare stand-in, who is not Peter Stormare, but
bad.
he's fine.
He's pretty good.
He's literally the Crypt Keeper. He literally has Tales from the Crypt. He's the curator. He's like
Curator.
instead of the yeah, he's like
He gives you hints, which not once did me and Warren have a moment where we're like, that hint. Like all the times that we just get to the next hint and we're like,
no.
I wonder what the deal with that other thing is.
The
I
hints
wonder if we
for
did
me,
that.
the hints for me were super obvious. Where it was like all that glitters isn't gold. I'm like, okay,
We got that one. We
Great.
didn't use it for
it was
anything.
So we had already figured out. I don't want to.
You don't want to say it.
The Man of Medan is supposed to have treasure on it. It's supposed to have gold from China, Manchurian gold.
Sure.
And then you get a tip that's like, all that glitters isn't gold. Like, oh, I don't know if I can
Well,
put
but it's
this
not
together.
like you could use that for anything. It's
No,
not
you're
like
right.
you never gave
Totally,
the
totally
opportunity.
fucking useless.
Like if there had been some fucking treasure there,
Be like,
and
oh, when-
in a doorway, and you have to walk through the door, I would have been like, Warren, don't walk through that door.
No, you're totally right. The tips were totally useless and like ruined the world in a way that you're like, well, no fucking shit. Thank you.
And some of the
Thank you.
They have the premonition system where you look at a fucking picture,
Yeah.
and it gives you
just like the idols. And,
yeah,
totems,
yeah, it gives you a brief hint of something that you can maybe use to make the correct choice to save a life or something.
one of those totally saved one of my characters' lives.
We didn't have I feel like we only had one situation where I thought there was one where a guy's just standing there. He's just fucking
I know,
standing
I got
there.
that one too. You're like, what the what?
And I'm like, what are we supposed to do with
Careful, a guy stands at some point.
that? Yeah, and we were looking at it and we're like, well, that door's open, so maybe we should just make sure that we don't ever leave until that door's open. And then the first time you get control of the guy, the door's open. We couldn't have done anything to fuck that guy over in
Some
a
of them
million
are,
years.
yeah, some of them are completely useless. There was one that did totally save one of my characters' lives. Totally, like made me make some crazy choices in a way that like I just have to trust the vision. I saw this in the vision.
Was that the guy with the gun?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
You get a
We
vision
had
of a
that- we
guy
had
with a
that one
gun to
too.
his head, and I was like, I saw that in the vision, so I was like, okay, I need to make this dude try and shoot himself,
Yeah.
I guess.
I think that was the one that Warren said that he was using that
Yeah.
same knowledge.
That was
so.
the only, every single one of the, every other one of those pictures is totally fucking useless. You see a dude in the very beginning who like drinks too much beer or whatever and gets sick, and you get a vision of him before he gets sick. You get a vision of him getting sick in the bathroom, and then like 2 minutes later, he's like thrown up in the toilet.
You're
Like I had too much
What
beer.
do I
Like,
use with this?
okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad I saw this.
Yeah.
It's proof of concept.
Yeah, it's I like it.
Yeah, we found one that was clearly for the next episode, which is interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
That is
Because
interesting.
it was the actor from Bandersnatch.
In one of the pictures.
Mhm.
That's wild.
Neat.
Yeah.
That's super wild.
Yeah.
It's. I think it's a great proof of concept.
you're not going to remember that shit when that comes around, though.
Probably
That's
not.
the thing.
But that's
No.
real dope. It was probably
even,
just
like-
more a like you see it in the post credit or whatever. Where they're like next time on Dark Stories, Dark Stories. I
Dark
think.
Anthology.
Dark
The only thing I will
Anthologies.
say is a good proof of concept about this game is the fact that it is the exact same thing as Until Dawn, done slightly worse, and they're doing it in chunks.
I don't know if I'd say done slightly. Apparently, it runs slightly worse on the PlayStation, which I think sucks.
Yeah, I thought the story was slightly worse. I thought
Different.
I thought none
Different.
of
Not- I don't
thought
think worse.
None of it was. I will say, I think I was scared more times in this than in Until Dawn.
Yeah.
Until Dawn was not making me jump. I think it was more of a general like a mystery feel, whereas this one was more of a kind of horror, jump scares kind of
Yeah, totally.
kind of thing. But the whole thing, I was like, this. Yeah, I like. They could make more of these, but I hope they make them better than this one.
I enjoyed my time immensely. Even
Yeah.
like figuring out the gimmick, I still had a great time.
It sounds
The
like
ride
you're
was
maybe
totally-
with the way you played might be
Yeah.
more. But like I said off the top, Warren I think had a way better experience with the game than me. Like
Yeah.
he seemed a little more like into what was going on, and he's like, "Oh, what do you think is going on with this?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. My guy's dead on a
think it's-
He
fucking
just
on a
soured
fucking
right off the
motorboat
start.
somewhere."
I think it's a big part of the story because like I thought the Wendigo thing was kind of fucking dumb.
I
don't
love
know.
the
Until Dawn?
Wendigo.
Yeah.
That's great. That's
I
a
didn't-
part of
That shit's
lore,
good.
man.
I didn't. I love the game, but like that story didn't. This story does way more for me than Until Dawn's did.
Yeah, well, whatever.
It just
glitters isn't
resonates with
gold
you.
and fucking bullshit.
Okay, do not sass the curator.
I really
curator.
like these types of games, and they're just ideal for like playing with my wife, and they interesting enough, and I really like the presentation to them, and I
Yeah.
really like this whole Dark Anthologies idea.
Yeah,
And so I'm really looking forward to this. Did you guys
Dark
ever watch?
Anthologies. That's what it's called.
Yeah. Did you? We played what is it fucking called Hidden Agenda on stream one time.
part of that Sony phone game.
Yeah, and it was fucking weird, and it wasn't that good, but it had great ideas playing along these games. Because like there are situations where you're investigating a room, and each player has control of things, and then you can look at individual things. And there's a metagame part of it where you're kind of racking points, and you kind of have this hidden agenda where you want to make sure, as like the scene master or whatever, you want to get the players to sort of hone in on one thing, and then if you do your job correctly, like you get more points for that.
Right.
Tells a story. I like that these games are providing that multiplayer aspect
Yeah.
to them,
And it seemed like this whole movie night mode was just kind of doing what people were doing with Until Dawn anyway, and basically being like, "Well, we'll do it for you. You just tell us what your names are, and we'll pick some characters, and then we'll tell you when to, so you don't have to like quickly be like, oh no, now it's you."
yeah. And that was sort of my hope when Telltale was like firing on all full cylinders, that they'd like adopt all this type of shit.
No.
Firing on full cylinders or like
Or,
igniting
yeah.
in atmosphere.
Firing on full cylinders, full steam ahead, but then everything, it's on fire in the back end.
Cylinders start blowing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The co-op is really like fascinatingly done where you are both always playing characters. Sometimes you're together. Sometimes you're like both sides of a dialogue where it's like you pick a dialogue, then they pick a dialogue, then you pick a dialogue, then they pick a dialogue. Sometimes you're not even in the same scene and they're in a completely different part of the game.
That sounds really interesting.
That
It
does.
is
It
like
does.
fascinatingly done in a way that it was hard for me to play, and like I was constantly like, how are they doing this? This is like there should be big pauses where like I have to wait for the other player to finish their shit or vice versa, but like it seemed totally seamless.
Did you guys kind of like converge all at the same time? And
Sometimes it like a scene would open and sometimes we would be two characters in the same scene, or like sometimes I would be a character in the scene, and they would be like, it would be me and an AI and them and an AI in another part of the ship, or like it was playing fast and loose with it.
Were you guys kind of playing the same characters at certain points?
Yeah, sometimes.
Like you would be Sean Ashmore or whoever you said, and then
Yeah.
partner
Or
would
Fleece is what, Felicity Fliss is
Yeah.
the only character I can remember. Yeah, like I'd be Fliss in the beginning of the game, and then you'd be Fliss the next scene, and then I'd be her again later.
Those are all good-looking people.
Yeah, everybody, just like Until Dawn, everybody is still a fucking supermodel.
Yeah.
Everybody is still like, the dialogue is hammy and stupid in exactly the same ways. I really like it. I really like it a lot.
fucking Han.
Would you play again?
Yeah.
Han.
No, I would.
Han.
Oh, Han. It was just a prank, Han. That's Emily who says that.
Oh, yeah, Emily was the
Han
shit.
is the poor girl
Yeah,
who...
yeah, you're right. Who gets...
I would probably not play it again, but I think Warren is going to. So sometimes I'm out there reading or something, so I'll probably keep an eye on another playthrough.
Yeah.
Can things go significantly different? It sounds like...
I assume
can?
so. It would be very sad for a game from these people to not have some, at least, like, that's what the game is, right? Is these choices making different outcomes. Like, we, on our playthrough, other than missing a Y tap in the first 30 minutes of the game, nothing killed us, which had, in hindsight, had I kept old Sean Ashmore alive, and we would have kind of coasted the way we
That's
did
so crazy.
to 5.
That he died instantly. He was like the core tenet of our game.
Oh, really? Yeah, so it must change
Ned
somewhat.
Stark?
But boy, if we would have got all 5 through there, I would have been like, huh.
We're so close. We're so fucking close.
I'm interested in this. I'm very interested in this, naturally.
So close.
I'm stoked that they're doing, 5 of these?
Have they said how many?
4
there
more, I think.
on the
Sweet.
Go for it.
Somebody would have to fact check that, but yeah, I like that idea, and I'm a big fan of these games.
They should have got Peter. Was he
really-
just too expensive? What if every
Probably.
episode was you in the psychologist's office?
Yeah.
And him being like,
That'd be a good...
which one of these pictures scares you, and showing you the fucking clowns or the spiders or whatever.
That would have been a good, good thread between all
Yeah,
of
and
them.
then Until Dawn could have been one of the anthologies. What? I'm sure they thought of all this.
Because Peter Stormare was actually a character in the Dark or Until Dawn world, right? Like, wasn't he your shrink after?
We don't really. He's kind of implies that he is, but we're not really sure.
No, like, doesn't it, like, at the end, doesn't it, like, pan out and one of the characters in the game is talking to him?
That might be right.
I
Is
feel
he
like that's
Rami
right.
Malek Shrink?
I think
he
he's
might be
Rami
Rami
Malek
Malek
Shrink.
Shrink.
Yeah.
Whereas this guy is clearly,
like
the curator of books.
He totally
of
talks to
fictional
you.
stories.
It wouldn't have been that much of a jump. He totally talks to you, the
you can do
player,
whatever
a
you
lot,
want.
where he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you're interfering in people's lives, yada yada yada." Peter Stormare is such a fucking
He's a good man.
commanding presence that.
Yeah.
I mean, the curator's okay, but he's not Pete, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Man
you guys into
of
these
Medan.
types of games? You and Colin?
We haven't played them, but I think it'd be a blast to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. With
They're
the
good.
lights on, you know.
They're good, dumb fun. They're not super scary or anything.
Oh, you're saying the second one was scary?
It was like there were some
this
jump
one was
scares where you're
scarier
like,
than Until
"Wah!"
Dawn, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought it's really well shot.
Oh yeah,
Like some of the shots that they that you walk through, because the camera moves kind of with your character, are really well done.
were there parts where you're like, is this scene frozen? What's happening? Because like every time I would always think it was a cutscene, so I'd be like, hands off. You're like, oh, I guess
Never
the game.
take your hands
I
off.
guess the game froze you guys, and then like start moving like, oh, this is not a cutscene. I'm supposed to be walking through this.
You
This
take
is-
your hands off the controller, you're dead.
Sean Ashmore's dead.
Sean Ashmore's done.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're looking at chat and you miss a quick time event, but none of mine were fatal, thankfully.
Yeah.
I hope when now that Telltale's sort of back, that they take cues from this. You're shaking your head.
They're not back.
Well, I mean, something's going on.
Somebody bought the name Telltale.
There you go.
Yeah.
You could have done it.
You could have done it. Had you the
you guys-
money,
you guys- I
could
didn't
be.
do it.
But that doesn't
No.
mean the creative talent behind some of our favorite games is still there.
Amber said no, we can't buy Telltale games, and
We have
then
a-
I got fucking grumpy.
We have a wall to paint.
The feature wall is not going to build itself.
Yeah.
What else you get up to? That was the Man of Medan, the Dark Anthologies.
That's right.
Man of Medan.
I played Devil May Cry 5. Well, I played half of it.
Oh,
I'm about halfway through.
like half, like you play half as Nero and then you gotta go through as Dante, or a different
No, it's
character.
making you switch during the single player. Like, you play levels 1 through 5 as Nero, and then 6 through 8 as V, and then back to Nero.
Oh, Virgil.
Is that his name?
Maybe it was usually Nero, Dante, and
Virgil,
Virgil.
yeah.
Is it Virgil?
But he might
Okay.
just be V in this one.
Yeah, he's the mysterious one, and his name is V.
Is he a ghost man or is he a man? As far as you can tell.
He's a man.
Okay, Virgil was a ghost in the last game.
He can summon animals, demon animals.
Yeah, I think he turned. I don't remember.
remember.
I know he played really weird. He was in a DLC in the last one. I remember.
Is it good? Do you like it?
I do like it. I like it a lot.
It's a
I
good-looking
always like
game.
those games when I have no idea of the story because I haven't played enough of them. In fact, I
Sons
think
of
this is-
Sparta needs
We
the
tried talking about this. and
Curious
yeah,
in the bubble, and you want the power.
And I'm I'm so I feel like I'm so lost that even when the cutscenes are on, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck any of this means, and frankly, I don't care.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like if like three of us weren't so into Metal Gear, this is exactly how Metal Gear would sound. Because yeah, like I like the idea of Devil May Cry, but yeah, trying to suss out the story, I'm like, fucking,
What's going on?
I don't know,
Sounds
and I don't
like-
really
kinda
care
like
to know.
They
Hero-
they reset it a bit in DMC, but this is not in the DM. This is in the Devil
Yeah.
May Cry
Yeah,
series,
don't know.
and it's very confusing.
So I think there's 3 different characters that you play as, which I think we were talking about. I've only played as 2, and they play very differently. So
You play as Nero and V.
and V.
It'd be
Yeah.
shocking. It'd be the only Devil May Cry game in history that you don't play as Dante.
Right.
If you don't play
But
as Dante.
I think I'm pretty well through the first half, and he hasn't shown up yet. But there's also like almost a grid system that shows you like the missions are listed, and then there's like a diamond on the left for missions with Nero, and then there's a diamond in the middle, and then there's clearly a spot where you can fit one more diamond. Where I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be another one of these guys.
It's Big D.
It's just one of those big. It's like kind of like Bayonetta, where it's those cutscenes where it's just mayhem and slow motion and shooting bullets, like ricocheting bullets off stuff and jumping through
Other
moving
bullets
car windows,
sometimes.
and just wishing that you could do that when it actually came time to play the game, because I'm usually getting my ass kicked as soon as I take control of the character, but.
How's the combat music? Is there more than one song that loops?
There might just be one.
Is it the same? Is it
No,
like
no,
Rob
there's
Zombie?
more than
and
one.
it just has the one like for 30 hours straight.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm usually watching something else while I'm playing this
You would
game,
know. No,
but,
if there was
yeah.
only one song that looped infinitely,
Yeah.
like Devil May Cry 4, you would fucking know.
No, they have a really good song during the opening credits. Like the music in that game is good. I just cannot say if the music in the combat is the same every time.
I think you would know.
Yeah.
Because by the end of Devil May Cry 4, I would fucking murder anyone. If I have to hear that song one more.
It's good. Like
Yeah.
like I said, between the two characters, whenever it like you start to get fatigued playing the game, like with any video game, and then you get a mission and it's like, you're this other guy now. And I was like, oh, I'm playing with him for like 4 hours. I don't think I'm
They play like pretty differently.
Yeah. One of them, like Nero, is sword in one hand, gun in the other, and then V is like staying away from the fight and fighting with these animals. And then whenever they take the health down, it kind of gives you a kill prompt, and you have to get close and kill him with V.
Well, execute
A
style.
little execute style, but then you have to get the fuck out because everyone's coming for V. So
That sounds cool.
yeah,
It's on
it is
Game
neat.
Pass.
It is on Game. I wouldn't be playing it if it
Yeah,
wasn't.
definitely gonna check it out.
Is it like hard? I know those games are known for being hard.
So I am dying, but I am not dying faster than these gold crystals I'm collecting, which allow you to revive and just keep going exactly from where you are. I have never had a game over screen, but I've had bad ranks because I'll die like 2 times in a level and revive myself. Also had an S rank though.
Nice.
Double S rank.
Hell yeah. Oh shit. One more to go.
And I saw a triple S rank.
but then
but
like
then it
drop
went
back
away.
down. Yeah.
I get way better ranks with V than with Nero. So I don't know if
Different.
that's the same with everybody.
V's,
but
V's your main.
V's my main out of the 2.
DMC was so dope. I'm so bummed they didn't
is.
kind of keep doing that. Like,
It is like DMC, where
Is it like modern day
I don't
kinda-
know what. Yeah, it's modern day.
Yeah.
And it's
that's a big change. Like Devil May Cry 4 is like they have guns, but it is this weird like kind of medievalish.
yeah, no, this
like people don't have
feels-
cell phones, and nobody knows what Michael Jackson is in Devil May Cry 4.
I mean, they do use payphones.
People are fucking doing the beat it dance. People are literally dancing to Michael Jackson in
Yeah.
DMC 5.
Crazy.
It's good. It's good in that way where like you just kind of play it with a smile because you're like, this is all so stupid
Yeah.
in the good way.
Remember that fucking like Bill O'Reilly boss from
Yeah.
DMC? Fuck me. That
You
is
were
one of my
fighting the
favorite
internet.
bosses of all time.
I have the opening credit sequence down for one of my moment of the year contenders.
Oh,
so
shit.
Just because it's fucking stupid. Like vehicle turning super sharply so he can go flinging out the side window and doing twirls with his arms so he can shoot people with both guns, and after everything never touches the ground, lands back in the window, drives off.
And there's no
Comes just fucking
Anime.
anime. Fucking
There's no
anime.
Dante at this point.
There was Dante at the very beginning of the game.
Was he doing that
Oh
stuff?
yeah, he'll be back.
No, he is like holding off hell. Like the armies of hell are coming from below, and Dante is literally like he's down there bottlenecking it.
Oh,
And then we're up on the surface dealing with whatever's going on there.
Yeah.
We're not actually entirely sure that Dante's alive, except for the fact that Dante's alive.
it's
The fact
it's
that hell
DMC.
isn't
Dante's
spilling over.
That's right.
alive.
Yeah. Dante will not die.
I think he has maybe a few
Well,
times.
what is
and
that?
Exactly. Come to climb your way back.
That's right. No one's ever really gone.
I'm totally gonna check that out.
Good.
Sekiro.
Talk about
Let's talk about
Sekiro.
Sekiro.
Sekiro. Have you learned what Sekiro means? Are you far enough in the game that you've learned what the name?
No, I'm
Oh.
not far enough in the game to have learned anything.
Well,
I am at the drunkard.
Okay, Juzo the drunkard. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. I got hot strats for him. You want hot strats?
I don't know that I do.
I got real hot strats for him. Have you got to him without, like, have you figured out how to clear the dudes?
No.
I
I clear the same 3 dudes every time.
So you can totally clear them all.
Okay.
First thing, there's a dude by the river in blue that if you talk to him, you're like, yo, help
Yeah.
me fight. He'll just fucking help you fight.
Yeah, sometimes I whack him and he'll come after you too.
Yeah, if you hit him ahead of time,
Yeah.
that's bad news. But there's a
He's
so
very
it-
good.
it
He's way more dangerous fighting me than the drunkard.
Yeah, that blue dude's the guys your size way harder than huge dudes. Huge
Yeah.
dudes are slow.
Yeah.
There's a spot. So basically, you're gonna you end up you run in and everybody, like, kind of the whole group, the whole glom gets on you.
So I'm not stealthing these people.
You stealth as
Yeah.
many as you can,
Yeah.
but there's a trick to where
Same 3.
Yeah, you stealth the 3, and then to get that 4th dude, like, right beside him or whatever, you end up pulling them both, and then there's a spot where you kind of, so this is going to be...
Yeah, just
Okay,
talk me
all
through
right,
it.
all right. So
I played it recently
There's
enough.
a door. There's a door that's blocked off, right? You got to beat Juzo, then the mist wall goes away. You go through the door.
Juzo's in front of the door.
Yeah, here's the door,
Okay.
and there's, like, this complex. It's oriented like I'm showing you
big
with my
square,
hands.
yeah.
You kind of go through this passageway and around the back is
Yeah,
how you
around
get to
to the
Juzo.
left, yeah,
and
yeah.
you're like, hey, and you pull everybody, and then you run back out. And if you run around the outside...
So am I running back through the hallway that I came in through?
Yeah,
Okay.
you get everybody's on you, and you're like,
yeah,
there's 10
Juzo's
people,
coming,
help! And
filling
then
up the whole hallway.
You run back outside and run out of the thing, and then run around to the left and go outside the complex. You go around the back, where you're
Okay.
kind of, and you can see them in the hallway. And if you hang out in the back, you'll in MMO terms, you'll drop aggro eventually. They'll leash. They'll
Okay.
return to where they were. So once Juzo leashes and goes back,
Yeah.
then you can kill the one dude that's beside him. And you can do that as many times as you need. So if you have to just pull...
So a new dude always goes beside Juzo?
Well, you'll wait for Juzo to leash, and then you'll kill a small guy,
Okay.
and then let everybody reset, and then do it again. And it takes a few minutes, and then you get everybody on you, and you got to run back, and you kill one dude just to get rid of the little guys.
This seems like it's going to work.
It does.
Let me tell you the problem.
And then
That sounds not fun.
it's not bad. It's not bad. It takes a minute.
I
or
don't
two.
want to run behind the house a whole bunch of times. Like that was what
You
I
gotta.
learned was my problem with this game is
You got to pull
where it's
trash
like-
away from the boss.
Where it's like I know, and I think that was because when I started playing it and I started fighting these guys 1-on-1, even maybe 2-on-1, I was like,
2-on-1's hard.
and I was like, the combat is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like it feels so good.
Especially when you're like hitting it. It's like,
Yeah. And then it became a part of like, I want to fight all these guys just 1-on-1. And that is how the game would be fun.
yeah.
But they put all these ads every time.
It's all about figuring
And-
out how to make it 1-on-1.
I know. And it's never a fun way. It's never a fun way. Do you know what would be fun? If there was just no ads and it was fucking, okay, now it's me and the drunkard. It would be
easy
fun.
peasy.
And this is where it comes. Sekiro would be a great boss rush game.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think you would know how to do those. I think you need the trash. You need to die on the trash 100 times leading up to that boss to like get that rhythm down.
No, because even whenever I fight, which has only happened like twice, fight the drunkard 1-on-1, I'm like, this is fun. I love this
Yeah.
game. This is
If
great.
you-
I'm learning his moves. I'm fucking. It's just then you die and you spawn at the fucking thing and you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to fucking run behind the house again 20 times.
That's those you keep buying these games, but it seems like you don't like these games. That's
it
like,
does.
oh, when I die, the world resets.
I know.
There's nothing. I can't help you then. If that's the issue,
it's-
you're fucked.
It's It is
Juzo
monotonous.
himself, there's some good tactics where if you keep max
I feel like
distance,
Juzo.
he'll drink, and you can hit him twice during every drink.
Yeah.
And he has 2 charges. When he has the drink in his mouth, he'll spit.
Yeah.
And then you can take an attack, and then he'll spray it on his sword.
Yeah.
And then you can take an attack, and then you can just fucking do, and then he'll take a drink, and then you get in there.
I feel like if it wasn't for the ads, Juzo would have been done a long time ago. Like, he's not actually the one that worries me. It's the monotony of clearing the ads every time while you try and learn him.
Yeah, that's
where it's like, whew.
It is in that game, a little bit in that game's defense. I was a little worried too, where like, holy fuck, every boss I'm gonna have to, because it does take like maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes to get rid of all that trash every time. It doesn't do that very often. That is kind of the 1-2 cases I can think of where a boss actually has trash.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you are just fighting one enemy in an arena.
Right.
It is so
And
fucking
it's fucking
hard.
great.
It is so fucking. If you can make it past Juzo, the boss after Juzo is the one that I died more on than the entire rest of the game combined.
Is it the butterfly lady?
Yeah, she's
But
she's
are
late game.
Are these are mini bosses, right?
Juzo's a real boss. Juzo have a health bar on the bottom. Lady Butterfly has a big health bar on the bottom. Like when you go through a fog door. I guess Juzo, you don't go through a door. For the
I
big
feel
bosses,
like Juzo's not a big boss.
Yeah,
I feel like you might be a mini boss.
The real bosses will have like a, well, quote unquote real bosses will
Yeah.
have a big health bar on the bottom, and you'll go through a fog door, and it's usually one-on-one.
I will say another thing, and I totally know this is just ways that I'm making this game easier. I would love if every time you got to fight one of these big bads, checkpoint was right before it.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
There are a lot of those. There are spots where you come to appreciate where you're like, fucking A, they put the checkpoint right before this boss.
Yeah.
That is rad.
Because it is very much like, I think the parts of this game that are supposed to be fun are incredibly fun, and there's too many parts that are supposed to be work, and where you're like, I've done that, like I know I can do this, I just don't want to do it every single time while I try and learn how to beat the boss.
Yeah,
I would like to learn how to beat the boss, then make me do it once, and then I'll beat the boss.
It's more about getting so good because you're doing it every time up to the boss. It's more
But it's not
about
like-
I get so good at these parts leading up that I don't have to think about them anymore. I'm like, yep.
But they still
power,
take
you're
time
dead.
because it is like you said, where it
It's
is
true.
like I know I can run, I fucking kill this guy, and fucking kill this guy. I usually kill all the ads, but it does take a chunk of my health.
Less and less time, the better you get.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna go back to it.
No, that's too bad.
Yeah,
It is. I think my favorite From game.
yeah,
Which is too bad.
It
You should stop buying these games.
It
You should
might be
stop.
mine.
It's like if I bought the hockey game, everyone was like, "This sucks. I still gotta get the puck in the net." What the? I thought they
How
changed
many
that.
of these games have you bought?
In fairness to
How
me,
many of these games have you bought? How many of these games have you bought, and how many have I can? I think I only talked you into Neo.
Neo, which
I
is,
think that
maybe,
was- I'll
is
take that
maybe
one.
my favorite, and Bloodborne. Those are the only 3.
Oh,
now.
that's not so bad then.
Yeah,
At least you're not buying like Dark Souls proper.
no. Although I think I have 3 from
Maybe
a
buying
free
it
game.
proper.
No, I think it was a free game 1 month. Because I did look at it and I was like, maybe if I started here, it would build the foundation I need to get the fucking.
That's too bad.
It is. It is so frustrating because I feel like I'm wasting my time a lot because it is hard and you die and that's a part of the game. But it'll be like 2 hours will go by and be like, man, I could have fucking done 3 levels of Devil May Cry and saw some fucking wicked shit.
Sure.
Instead of-
I could have put Mass Effect on story mode and seen the entire first half of the game if I wanted.
Sure, but like something new. That's what I'm saying. Like I could have experienced something different
As opposed to just
as opposed to playing the same part over and over and over
banging your
again.
head against it.
Those
I
are
sort of get that.
those games. But
Yes.
eventually, there is a hump, and you get over it. And once you get over it, you are the fucking king of the world.
I would like to say that I did not buy this game for months. But every time you guys talked about it, you're like, this might be the one. This might be the one.
If you're gonna stick with it, I will say it took for Madam. I had to beat Madam Butterfly for me to be like, okay, I finally get it. I finally have learned. Like, I need to always hold block. Like, it took a
Well, and I
good
feel-
100 deaths for me to like, okay, I get how it goes.
Like I said, I feel like the parts of the game that are supposed to be fun are very, very fun. Like fighting the bosses, fighting very hard bosses that are like killing me in one hit. When I have a checkpoint nearby and I know I don't have to do another 10 minutes of work to get up to the boss, I'm like, I'll fucking do this all night. This is fun. I'm learning, but it's just it's the monotony of like, okay, now I got to kill you. There's 2 archers over here. Block my way up to the archers. Kill the archers. Fucking hide in the grass. Drop the aggro. Fucking
It's not. These games are not for you.
no.
because they reset. That is like literally the game is.
Yeah, but lots of games reset
but none,
when you die.
None like Dark Souls.
Right, but not in a way where it's like, hey, getting back is fucking hard.
Yeah, you gotta
and long.
You gotta redo the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's why
I mean, I
Cuphead
knew
was
these
so
games
amazing.
weren't for me. I bought the game anyway.
I really wish I could take that off your hands because
Yeah.
I from the
How far did you get?
I didn't get as far as this drunk guy, so I don't think I
He's
got.
a real
He's
piece
in
of shit.
He's in the flashback too. You don't have to do those. You can. Turns out those are kind of all late game. You can go do the main path of the game and come back to those way later, which is what I should have done. A lot of people do Lady Butterfly at the end, not as the second boss like I did.
But yeah, from the little that I did play, and the little I was banging my head against it, it was all like, yeah, I'm still kind of impressed by that game. Like it hasn't punished me to
It
a
is
point
fun.
of.
I can recognize the mechanics and be like, this is fucking.
And the style
this
of
is so
it
fun.
is super cool.
Yeah,
and
when it's coming out, you feel like a fucking god amongst men.
Like I told you when there was that guy who fucking just came at you with a spear.
Yeah.
A hunter.
And you learn that
And he was
fucking
fucking-
Makiri counter
yeah,
where you
and he
like
was
stomp
fucking-
it into the dirt.
He was fucking killing me every time, and I was like, this guy's a fucking piece of shit. And I just from getting up to him, I got enough levels to go into my skill tree and buy something. And there was one where it's like, oh, if he thrusts at you with a spear, you fucking dodge towards him, you step on his spear.
Oh, it's
And I'm
so
like,
good.
that's what I need. That move, what this is invented so I can kill this man. And I fucking killed him the first try. And I'm like, this game's pretty good.
And then they started mixing it up where like now instead of dodging towards him, you have to just jump, just neutral jump and then take your hands off the controller, which I can never do.
Like that shit is all, I'm super into that.
Yeah.
That is not the part of the game I have a problem with.
It's just the
Sekiro should be a
it's
boss
just the
rush.
95% of the game that's
Right.
not. Well, it's like 85% that's not the bosses.
Yeah. Because the bosses are great. The
Yeah.
bosses are what's fun. It's
You
the-
have seen what 3 of 45 or something, and they've all
yeah,
been
they could get worse,
They've
I
all been
guess.
spear bosses. Like you've seen one type of boss. Like there are
No, there's
there
a
are,
fat guy. He's the drunkard's not a spear. He's got a big poison sword.
yeah. Oh, well the spear dudes are just enemies. Like
No, I know.
you'll start
Yeah,
encountering them.
That's
in the
what I'm
world
saying.
just
I don't
as
think I've
dudes.
fought a boss with this.
Yeah, the big guy.
spear, yeah.
Big guy's. Oh, sorry. The mini. But you might have fought a mini boss. Or like
Oh
he's
yeah,
using
maybe there's that first guy might
the
have
first
been a
of the
spear guy.
7 spears or whatever.
Yeah.
But there are dudes the size of skyscrapers that have a wild. There's like a Ganon fight where you're like reflecting back lightning balls at a dude, and like
That's pretty
the bosses are all over the place in that game.
This seems like the kind of game that maybe slow time next year
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
comes
Little
back
bit of
across my
downtime.
plate. Yeah.
It took me like when I started playing Dark Souls, like got 6 hours into it, made it to the gargoyles, was like this is fucking impossible. Dropped it for a year, came back to it, tried it again, got a little farther, was like, pfft, dropped it for it. Like it took me a lot of tries.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not that I can't stop recommending it. It's that I also went through like these games are not for me, and then discovered actually these games are super for me, and thinking that they're not for me is totally was part of that experience and part of that journey. Dark Souls taught me a lot about
I learned
myself.
Devil May Cry is super for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll check it out. I'll check it out. I really like Dark Souls a lot.
Last little one I played Hevo.
Oh, I played some of that
I
with
played
you.
that with you.
That's a fun game.
That's a very fun game.
it's on the
It's that game
Nintendo
also.
Switch.
Switch. It is one of the best party games you can ever hope to put in front of someone because
Yeah.
as soon as you fucking give them the fucking controllers, they'll figure it out in 10 seconds
Yep.
how it works. And
You're a little guy with so you're playing on Joy-Con. Left trigger makes your left hand grab. Right trigger makes your right hand grab. If you
all
ever
you
played,
are is a face with 2 arms.
yeah,
You
you're
have
like
no
a
legs.
Mr. Potato Head kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you ever played Grow Home, it's a lot like Grow Home, where you're like locking on hands. And then you are like making chains of people to like, okay, we got to swing over to that thing. It's way too far away.
Yeah.
So Brando, I'm gonna grab you.
No, very Barrel of Monkeys where you
I'm
get
gonna grab
everyone
my
like, and then
buddy.
start swinging.
Okay, everybody together now. Whoa! And like try to
And
swing
then you're
over.
like, oh, we don't
and-
have enough reach, so the guy who's holding on to the ground has to let go, and you just go fucking flying through the air, and someone's got to grab it. It was hilarious.
We got a good little like none of us ever played before we picked it up, and
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
like but kind of by the end of our hour and a half or whatever, drinking as well. We were killing it. We're like,
Yeah.
okay, boys, form the chain, and like we didn't have to talk anymore.
Yeah.
We know who the ends are.
It's
We're
gonna
just
be
like,
Brandon's
click,
got the
click,
coin. I'm
click,
going to throw
click.
Brandon
Yeah.
and the coin over to you, and you grab the coin.
Oh yeah,
and-
we were really like finding our groove by the end of it.
Yeah.
It's super. It's like impossible to kind of describe until
Yeah,
you get into
it
it.
feels
but
good.
It is so fucking fun. It is the greatest party game.
Yeah.
And there's a fart
Everyone should
button
have it.
where
There's a fart button.
you can the fart kind of like blasts people away. I saw people clearing levels with it
Yeah.
amazingly.
There's,
where like
there's some strategic value to it, but it
Yeah.
seems almost too random for me to know how to
I couldn't
do
do it,
anything with.
but I saw a fart master on the internet who could just like watch me fart this coin over right into the goal.
That's
Wow,
pretty
that
good.
is amazing.
It's LeBron James.
3 points.
And it's only $10.
Oh,
So
what a deal.
yeah,
Yeah, heck of a game.
anyone can play it. You got friends over, fucking family over for Christmas. Anyone can fucking play that game.
Sounds like Little Big Planet.
I played the biggest game in the world.
The littlest, biggest game in the world.
The biggest game in the world this
Oh
week.
shit!
WoW Classic, that's right.
Oh.
Level 28, boys.
Ooh,
Buckle up.
Steven.
About a fifth of the way to 60 at level 28.
Yep.
That game
That
is...
math doesn't check out.
Oh, they
that checks
get
out.
exponentially longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about a fifth of my time in. It's WoW from the old days.
Nice and
A
slow.
lot of elitist fucking douchebags now. People who are like, I played this for years.
They always have the accent.
At level 28?
Yes. Got into at level 20. Got into the first dungeon in the game called Dead Mines. Found a group, whatever. Everybody's probably run it a billion times. We had a dude who, first of all, he was our healer. And he's like, yo, I'm Rhett or whatever. Like he comes in immediately. He's like, I'm playing an off spec. I'm not playing the healing spec. But I played back in the day, so I'm really good. It'll be fine. And immediately, like Bryce, we're like, okay, maybe it will be. Like, we're low enough level, it probably doesn't matter. Okay. And then we get in, and he's like, we always wipe in this room. I have to do the pulse. Like, pulling is like when you, all the mobs are just hanging out, and I'm just gonna go grab one to bring to the group.
Okay.
Because if you get too many, then you die.
Yeah, hiding behind the building.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, sure, you do the pulls because he's gonna leave if he doesn't. Which is super. If you played WoW, is just fucking completely backwards. Doesn't make any fucking sense that our healer is pulling, but whatever. Like, let whatever makes this guy happy. Let him. He should be. And there's a whole reason why you don't do it, but it doesn't matter. And anyways, is doing the pulls and then fucks them up. Fucks them up. Pulls the entire room and we wipe. And then immediately is like, well, if this guy wasn't standing here and I needed someone to do this for me, and then I was gonna do this, and then I would like this whole long thing. And I'm like, okay.
I fucking hate people so much.
So did I. I'm not even talking. Like, I'm like literally just watching, and there's lots of time, and I'm just smoking weed in my apartment, not giving a fuck, and like, wow, this is really popping off in here. I'm really baked. And then quits the group in the middle of it, and I'm like, wow. What a fucking loser.
Yeah.
And then sends me a private message like, I need you to tell that warrior in the group that the reason I'm leaving is because I did not get to do it. And I am like, I am so high. And it is like 3 a.m. and I've been playing WoW Classic for the last 15 hours straight. And I'm just like, fucking like did the equivalent of closing my laptop and just fucking turn the computer off.
Which
like, I need to
turns
go.
out to be smashing your computer
with a baseball bat. And like we just keep meeting people like that constantly who are like, I played back in the day, I need to do this thing. And I'm like, oh my god.
People often ask me why I don't like to chat with people on games that you really should be chatting with people. And it's because it's like 90% those people.
Yeah.
It's a shockingly high number.
It is. Well, they're just the most vocal, I think. On the flip side of that, I've had some incredible experiences with like people who've never played before, of like just the random little like me and a dude swam to the bottom of a lake a guy was swimming down, and I have a thing called underwater breathing, which is underwater breathing. So I gave it to him, and he's like, wow. Well, that's amazing. Do I have to give you money? And I'm like, no. That's for you, buddy. Because I jokingly give it to everyone because it's fucking worthless.
Sure. You never go underwater.
Well, yeah. And he's like, there's a thing down here I was trying to get to. This is amazing. So me and him teamed up and found this treasure chest with nothing in it at the bottom of this lake. It took us like 40 minutes. It was actually pretty cool.
You're like the mermaid who finds the drowning sailor.
Exactly. Exactly. It was like when he's like, how much do you want? I was like, she said like 5 gold. I should say like a really high amount and see if this guy.
Subscribe to my Patreon.
Missed opportunity. It's been the full gambit in WoW Classic of like incredible. I've had some like really really positive interactions, which is rare for World of Warcraft, and then totally seen the other side of it where people are like, I played this game the whole time.
Great mythic BFA.
It's just that same accent.
It's because it bugs the fucking. Because like, how much of a douchebag do you have to be like, okay, guys, I'll try and say it without the accent.
You don't have to.
Okay,
we just
listen.
know.
I played 15 years ago, so let me do this. I know how to do it better than you guys, and you guys are gonna fuck it up.
Yeah.
I played 15 years ago. They're probably not
Like,
just
how
saying it
old are
like
you?
that. They're probably well, that's a good point. That's a good point. Of like, if you. I didn't even think about that because in my head I'm like, whatever, you're a child, do whatever you want. But if you played WoW Classic, you can probably vote and drink and buy cigarettes and are probably an adult-ass adult.
Or you're a liar.
And
this is the first time you've ever played this game.
Yeah, I don't know who would. That's a real fucked up person who's like the fake fucking. Oh, I have the fake classic clout. But it's classic and like. It gives me this weird existential dread where as I'm playing it, I'm like, why? Why am I mean, why any video game ever? But really, WoW, like, why? What am I going to do? I'm going to hit max level and I'm doing Molten Core and it's going to take 24 hours. And I'm like, this sucks. There's a reason they got away from this.
This is kind of the question I'm asking about this because I've never played WoW.
It's never been a better time.
No. And I've never really known the draw of like an MMO. Like the most I've played is like DC Universe Online, and I'm like, this sucks.
Yes.
Yep. WoW is.
Like so they relaunch WoW Classic or they launch WoW Classic, and this is taking it back to 15 years ago apparently. Mm-hmm. But the thing I've heard leading up to this is like WoW has iterated and improved upon itself in the last 15 years. Do you really want to take it back to 15 years ago? And is it really what's it like?
It is so WoW to jump into like WoW now is this huge bloated sprawling thing of like thousands of systems and like I've played WoW I've played every expansion. If I jumped in right now in BFA, there would be a huge amount of stuff that I just have no idea. Like an absolutely huge professions I've never once ever experienced. Like. Systems upon systems upon systems upon systems upon systems that just where do you start? That there is something like empowering about like, no, I know literally every single thing about WoW Classic. I know it all. I can just get in there and I know how to tinker with the machine and where to do it and there it's like a purity, I guess.
It's like going back to Super Mario World or whatever and then remembering the shit that you played and then redoing it.
It's even more removed than that because like A is still jump in Mario. A is always jump in WoW. It's like you used to have to hold A for a second, then press like it's like old Monster Hunter. It's like old Metal Gear to new Metal Gear in a way. Where if you were to just give that to someone now, they'd be like, "This makes no fucking sense. Why do I have to do all this?" It is like
but also
modernized in a way.
You mentioned how modern WoW is like bloated and everything, and this is taking it back to its roots. Is it just kind of a nostalgia trip? Like, will people just wash out of this and be like, "This is not sure, this is very pared down, and this is where the roots were, but really, I want all that shit."
I don't think people will wash out because, like, I mean, the washout point for WoW Classic will be in like 6 months. Will be like after we've done all the raids.
So they're not going to they're not going to just build this one back up to what. Can you still play the big one?
Yep. Yeah. Okay. It's still running concurrently. Like it is doing its own thing. So, totally separate products. One subscription gets you both, but they're like separate little.
So do you think they're going to just keep building this one up?
Yeah. Probably,
and then
if it does well.
Will it eventually be just two of the same thing?
So couple trains of thought towards that. They might just release the expansions kind of in step, which would be cool because like I would love to play the second or the expansion. Burning Crusade is like that's my favorite WoW. I would love to play that. I've heard some rumors that they might do similarly an expansion path, but a completely separate one where like WoW Burning Crusade, the first expansion went from 60 to 70 and then 70 to 80 and 80 to 90 or whatever, however one. WoW Classic might do that. It might have an expansion where it goes from 60 to 70, but it might be totally new content. It might be completely designed for WoW Classic. Nobody's ever played it before, which would get all those people who are like, I don't want WoW Classic. I'm over that. It would be like, new, old content, maybe bring them back in. I don't know.
It'd be weird.
And they sort of... So the setup for this, the trailer for this is... Because there's time travel in WoW. There's a Caverns of Time. And one of the expansions is like... Is timelines where you go back in time and you alter the timeline and you play through the new timeline, and the setup for this in the trailer is that time traveling character is like, we're sending you back 15 years. We gotta redo the things we did to make sure time doesn't get fucked, which could open the door for be like, Tom's fucked. Something happened, which would be crazy, like absolutely crazy if they did a new 60 to 70 expansion in WoW Classic only. I think EverQuest did something similar, maybe, but I don't know.
Do you think people would be pissed who are playing the big old bloated one that there was new content coming out for this old thing and not for their thing?
fuck them, I might say. Okay. I mean, there is new content coming out for retail.
Sure.
But yes, it is the internet. People will be pissed about literally everything. There will be a faction who is mad. There will be a faction who is mad if they don't do this. I don't know. I don't know if I'll hit max level. I don't know if anybody I know will hit max level. It is
Kevin
a
can do it.
climb.
Kevin can do it.
Maybe. Probably.
Kevin, I believe in
Chris,
you.
Colin,
Maybe.
Corey, all the C's. They'll get there.
Once you hit 50, like everybody
Kevin
talks a
with the C.
big game until
No.
you hit 50 and there's no quest.
50's fine. You dungeon crawl the whole way through. 40 is that's the death zone.
There's some real lulls in there. Like some real fucking lulls where like I am, like the South Park episode, I am just killing boars
Yup.
for 14 hours. Oh man. I don't know.
It's a good episode.
Yeah, it's a great episode.
Fantastic.
Is it dressed up? Is it like modernized
Nope.
visuals and stuff?
Nope.
Really?
Nope. It is as it was X years ago. A little, some of the engine stuff is a little better, but it does default to classic graphics. You can kind of turn up. Like the game didn't launch at 1080p was not a thing in 2004. So you can run the game at 1080p now. You could not in 2004, for example.
Just like the
weird thing.
Diablo StarCraft stuff, you can set it to look like classic, or you have a better computer, turn it all the way up to ultra.
Yeah. It's weird. I play it, but every minute I'm playing it, I have this existential, like, just why am I doing this?
It's me and Sekiro.
Oh God. Yeah.
The Sekiro effect.
I
That's
have
your-
the
that's your
Sekiro
life, though.
effect for a while, but nobody wants the why. Well, nobody. Whatever. That's a whole nother.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
Nobody
but I mean,
wants to watch anything I stream.
Oh, Matt.
No.
Not because it's me, because nobody's ever happy.
No.
See, that's the problem with people.
Nobody's ever happy.
Yeah, people.
And that's why people on WoW Classic, for the community.
The community sucks. The community's full of fucking douchebags.
That's the big. I think that the primary difference, because BFA, it's faceless. You queue into everything. You automatically get someone there. There's no interaction with the other players. To do that Dead Mines, you have to physically looking for more for this thing. Need a healer.
It's
in the
so
tank,
populated right now that it's faceless in the exact same way. Of like, you just put in looking for group Dead Mines and you get an invite and you don't even read the name and you're like, hey, here we go. See you guys.
Soulless. This reminds me of Destiny in some ways,
Yeah.
which is the kind of closest I ever got to this kind of thing. And I've much like you were saying, I have 1% very good memories of that stuff.
Yeah, some
and
really good positive
and
interactions.
99% very bad memories.
99% Matt Eads yelling at some kid for saying doggo too much.
Yeah, that was a bad day.
That was a bad day.
There was a lot of grumpers in there.
So I was very grumpy that day. I don't know. I'll keep playing. It's weird.
The best part was when Matt stormed off and the guy was like, why is he so mad? And we were like, because you keep saying dog.
Did he say that? That was just for the audience. That's for the folks at home. That joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep banging away on it. We'll see. I'm like 28 now, so we'll see. If I can hit 40, great. That's a milestone. If I hit 60, wow.
Wow.
Just let that subscription run out.
I'm gonna judge at the end of the subscription is yeah. Why?
I don't know.
Why?
I have no idea.
Why? Let's go for a break. I'm gonna try and figure out why. Unless does anyone else have any? I don't want to cut anybody off. If they got anything else here.
Oh, I gotta pee.
No,
Yeah, so do I.
was going to ask you something I can ask you off stream. So
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. Quick break. We'll come back here to the news. See you on the other side of this musical break. We talked for a long time. I also really have to pee.
have you talked about Control on this show?
A little bit. That was my air check for last week. Was I talked about it and everybody completely no-sold me.
Fuck, you know what you should have done is when I
Bring it
said,
up this
should I
week?
buy Control on a console that can't run it? And
I couldn't
you
answer
said,
that. I couldn't. I didn't know.
No.
I didn't
But
know.
had you answered yes,
Uh-huh.
I would have been able to talk about it with you. I also wasn't here last week.
Oh, did you play a little Control? Or not yet?
No, but I think I'm going to. I think
Yeah.
I'm going to buy it and say fuck frames per second. Fuck it all. I'll
Yeah.
play
They
it
can-
again.
It's
I'll
all-
play it all
really
again.
good.
It's all anecdotal for me, but I've heard from a couple sources as low as single-digit frames in combat, which is only 90% of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You're only in combat for all of it.
Single digit can be as high as 9.
That's right. That could be as high as 9 frames a second. I'll say on my medium tier PC at home, it dips pretty low sometimes.
Yeah.
There's a lot
It's
of.
fascinating. So here's so a lot of people have been saying, well, it's the PC is acceptable, and then there's these two consoles that are really bad. The Xbox is a little bit better than the PlayStation.
Which is backwards and weird.
Yeah, well, a lot of people are saying it's because they have more experience with the Xbox tech because of Quantum Break.
Yeah. Alan Wake.
Anyway, all I hear is the Xbox runs better than the PlayStation I'll get the Xbox copy
Aye.
and just not think about the PC like I do with a lot of video games.
He might not notice. You will probably notice. Warren might not notice. Warren must notice. 10 frames a second.
If it was 10, I would.
Surely.
It would be more than notice. It would bother me.
Surely.
I'm sort of not bothered by that either, but like 10
That is the
frames,
equivalent of like running at a third. You're only getting a third, less than that, a sixth of every.
Yeah, like 10
frame.
frames is super low.
And I often don't know if Warren can notice or if he notices and is just not commenting, because I usually will just sit there and I'll be like, ooh, and he won't say anything, and I was like, either he doesn't notice or he notices and he just doesn't need to make a big deal about it.
A lot of people,
that's how I feel like
legit
I am,
don't
too.
care.
Like I am not bothered by that.
I've just heard so many good things about the world building and the story and everything.
Yeah,
where
that's
it's
right
like,
here.
oh, it runs at 10. I can read a computer
That reading only needs to run at zero frames. It's a static image. Yeah, I played for about 4 hours today, and I would say maybe an hour of it was reading just things the pickups in the world. It's the only game I can ever think of, other than Mass Effect, where I've gone into every codex entry and read the full thing. And they're like, oh, I gotta know.
I'm fascinated by the stuff in that game, and it sucks that it's like
They're working
people
on it,
are
though,
like
right?
it's a big issue.
They ought to be working on it.
Mm-hmm.
But it might not get better. Yeah, it might not
And it
get
might
better.
not, and if it does, it might not get better for a long time.
But I mean, that's a goal to make it better. I don't fucking know.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
The goal's to make money, not make it better.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll work on making the frame rate better until someone says we need to sell DLC.
Yep.
All hands on deck.
Turn
I want
that
to play
shit
it.
out.
I want to play it so fucking bad, and I'll look at it on the store and be like, 10 frames a second. That's really bad.
Yeah.
And also, my Xbox isn't running things that are supposed to run very well right now.
Yep.
It's on its last legs. And it takes me back to when I first put Mass Effect 2 into my first Xbox, and it red ringed it
No.
during that intro
I
video.
mean, you spent full price on Sekiro and you're ready to drop that. So, I mean, there's bigger wastes of money.
Yeah, just I like your thinking. Just fucking throw another $80 at the wall and see what happens.
See what sticks.
I finished Better Call Saul,
Ooh.
like up to where it is.
Nice.
You watch that show?
No.
That show's fucking good.
Is it?
Yeah,
Hear good
I've
things.
heard.
I
Colin
love that show.
Reeves.
I've heard.
It's good. You watch Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
It's good because the further you go in Better Call Saul, the more you can see it starting to button up in the middle. And
Is it going to go right to the beginning?
I don't know.
Or from when Saul shows up?
I thought it's done
yeah.
now.
What's that?
Or maybe it's just the season that's over. But I thought the whole show was done.
Nope. Season 5 is 2020.
Oh shit.
They had to push it back.
Better Call
Nice.
Saul.
Yeah.
Season 4 out? Or did it air on TV, but it's not
It
on
is
streaming?
aired- Yeah, I bought season 4.
I think I'm a season behind.
Only $30 on digital.
What did
I think I'm a season behind, maybe.
3 is on Netflix.
I'll have to rewatch 3. I might be up to speed. I don't remember. I really like Better Call Saul. I like it a lot. I like Breaking Bad. I like Better Call Saul way fucking more.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I think Breaking
I'm a
Bad's still
big
my
Better
favorite
Call Saul,
show.
man.
Breaking Bad's really good.
But I like Better Call Saul a lot.
Breaking Bad makes me uncomfortable in ways I just can't. It's totally the intent of the show, and it's totally working on me, but I just can't. I just can't.
Yeah.
I just can't. That fucking hand job in the first episode is just. It's just I can't. It's the worst.
We don't like to think old people have sex.
Nope.
It's the worst. I mean, when they're having sex, it's all good. When he kind of
Bashes her head against the refrigerator.
I forgot about that. That's later. That's later in
That
the show.
stuff makes me so much more heaved out than like someone getting cut in half in the boys.
Yeah, me too. For
Someone gets
some,
cut in half in the boys, me and Warren are like, ha!
that one popped.
Uh,
Scooch back in. Let's finish this thing.
fuck, we barely started.
Ooh, don't even get me started.
Wrecked them. Hardly knew him.
Oh.
I played Control. I also want to mention Control briefly because
Sell me.
I brought it up.
Sell me Control.
It's
I almost sold him just on
Yeah, he fucking barely said it. He said you spent a lot of money,
Yeah,
wasted money on Sekiro. Why
Sekiro
not waste
argument.
more potentially?
that's not a bad idea.
and I was like, oh,
yeah,
see.
I have consistently loved Control the whole way through. The whole way through.
the only thing that you've said that has made me take a step back is saying how much of it is combat. And
It's
I think-
really fun. Is it? I
is
would
it really
say the
fun if it doesn't work because my frame rate's so
Yeah,
bad?
I don't know how it'll do on console.
Does it drop consistently? I don't know if any
PC,
you know the
PC
answer.
it's all good, baby.
But does it drop consistently with every combat, or is it just like when you pull off certain moves or whatever the fuck's happening?
I think
I don't know if you know these answers, but I mean
I
those are valid questions because it could probably be totally okay for maybe 70% of that 90%.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
So I think it's to do with the amount of
Shit
like
on the screen,
debris
right?
on screen,
Yeah.
and there is like everything in this game breaks so amazingly. I've stopped at pretty much like
Just give me your
pillar.
PC. Just give me your PC.
There you
I
go.
need it to work though.
I'll give you warrants.
Everything breaks
Crazies.
amazingly. There are bathrooms in the game, which I've never found a collectible or anything in the washroom, but they're realistically placed on every floor. As far as I can tell, the only reason to be in them is to break everything because the walls are like made of wood that splinters real nice.
So
but
I'm gonna be, because of my
there's a
shitty
lot of
base,
particles everywhere.
my shitty base Xbox. I'm going to be like, oh no, stay together, stay
with that,
together.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't break the wall.
Can you get away from that wall so I
Everything.
can throw you at that mattress?
It's like when probably nobody knows except me. When The Force Unleashed was coming out, part of their marketing materials was they showed off like their fancy AI engine, how like the stormtroopers would like hang on to one another, and they also showed how things break, where they break really realistically, and they
I
showed
watched
like
that video somewhere.
yeah, stormtrooper like getting
Yeah.
pushed through a piece of plywood and it
Yeah.
splinters real. Like it reminds
They
me of
grabbing onto each other when you pick one up and
Whoa!
drop the other.
It reminds me all of that, where like everything in the world is not totally destructible, it breaks up real nice, but that means that there are like particles and papers and like I'm going into offices and like using telekinesis to throw a thing down a line of like filing cabinets, and they're spitting 1,000 papers
Yeah.
each into the air, and like there's a lot of shit going
It's
on.
gonna light my room on fire.
Yeah, it might. It might. It looks so good, though, the way everything breaks and like just the particles on that gun, and oh my god, control's amazing. Continues to be amazing. Again, hard to tell if it's just the last game I played, but it is definitely one of my games of the year. It is in the discussion, certainly.
Changed my life.
Ooh.
I haven't finished it. I don't think so.
say it.
I don't think it'll.
Just say
I don't
it
think-
and free me.
I don't think it will. There's a series. There's a mini series that I've been talking about for like years called The Lost Room that I'm going to go home and find a copy of and distribute around if people want it. It is a 12 episode series about like similar to Control, objects of power, weird altered items.
Sure.
Oops, they're called objects of powers. More than one an oop.
Oops.
An object of power. More than one object of power is oops. It's
It's the series, a book series?
It's a TV series.
Oh,
TV series. There's a hotel room where they do some kind of a science experiment that I don't think ever gets revealed, but everything and everyone in the hotel room becomes a weird physics out of time thing.
how old is this? I've never heard of this. You've never talked about this.
I talk about it every week on this podcast.
Pretty close. At least last week.
Thank you,
this
Brett.
week.
It's not that old. It's like maybe I'll say like 2010-ish area.
That's pretty old.
I watched it when I lived with
A
sophomore.
decade ago.
That's pretty old. Fuck, that's pretty old. But not like 30 years.
No, sure.
You know? I'll find the DVD and if y'all
Who's
want
in
to
it?
watch actors I do not recognize. Like good actors, but nobody I could name off the top of my head. It was very
Never heard
good.
of this.
George Clooney.
Sure.
I'm going to rewatch it to make sure it's not just up here in
Right.
memory good, but I remember it being fucking rad and weird, just like this game.
Well, you sold me. I think I'm gonna buy it.
It's so
There you go.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time today reading about a post box that might paralyze people. I'm trying to figure out that post box. But all I know is that it was found, I think, in Oregon or something, and people within a certain redacted distance, because the fucking whoever controls the files in this place is a douche lord and just like redacts literally everything. Was just frozen like in space or something, but could move their eyes and breathe. It's
Fuck.
God, I love that game. I hope the ending. I don't know. I am. I think like maybe 3/4 of the way through, and the story is like good and taking turns in a way that is totally surprising me in a way where they set up. It seems like too obvious when you're going into a part of the story and like this is. Oh man, if this is really what you guys planned, what the fuck? And then it turns out it is too obvious, and you're like, you guys.
Speaking of postbox, I came to my apartment's postbox the other day, which is it's one of those like
It's like a
kinda
super
like-
box.
but yeah, and it's got all the little cubes in it. And you just open your little cube door.
Is it outside or is it like in the front
outside.
door?
Right outside the front door. And I went and put my key in my little box and pulled it, and the whole fucking door opened.
Oh, and you could see everybody's
mail.
Oh, and did you just like mix them up?
Just took a big fucking shit in one of them.
It's the Grinch. Jury duty, jury duty, jury duty.
And I tried to close it, and it wouldn't like stay latched, so I just walked away.
Just ran.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want people to think this was my doing, so I'm gonna leave.
That
and I
might
left my mail in there
make sure nobody
to
knew it
make
was
sure
you.
no one knew it was
Power
me.
move.
That might be an altered world event. The key might be on its way to becoming an oop. Mm-hmm. Is
The
it
key?
The key? Is it like a stereotypical
on
key? Maybe don't show it to me. I don't know.
Okay.
Does it look like a key where if you think of the word key, it is like the picture of, if you think like rubber duck, you think of the yellow ducky?
No.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it's smaller than what people would think of as a key.
All right, less obvious. Still not written out, but less obvious.
Like I would think of this as a key.
Items in the group think
Sorry, excuse my fob.
Don't drop that in the water.
Just
Just put that in the rice
little key,
palace.
right? That's kind of what I would think
yeah,
of
it's
as a
mail
key.
key.
Yeah, that's what I.
When
this
I
is-
think of
this is
keys,
like
it's
It would be like a
sized.
brass. Yeah.
brass, big eye
with the
hole,
two
single,
things,
and then,
yeah.
2 teeth.
Those
Two
don't
teeth.
unlock shit.
No.
But that is the key in the group
Sure.
think in control. That key is almost certainly
The key?
magic. Yeah, almost guaranteed it is. It's such a good game. I hope Ati, the fucking janitor, shows back up. I'm getting worried about Ati. I think he's from Finland. I don't know.
Lucky sounds Finnish.
He doesn't speak great English, but he's a good man. I work for him. He thinks I work for him. I'm the director, but he's like, you can be janitor's assistant if you want. I'm like, okay, crazy old man. Sure.
You should fire him.
I'm thinking about it. The place has gone, between you and me, place has gone to fucking shit since
Yeah.
Adi's been in charge.
You go back to one of those rooms you blew apart and see if you cleaned it.
They're always put back together, actually.
Fuck.
I don't know, but I
doing
can't
a
You
good
probably
job.
aren't paying that guy enough.
And I do see his, the yellow, like, janitor mop on wheels. It's like
Sure,
got a handle and a mop bucket and, like,
Yeah.
bottles, and every janitor in the world has
The oops
one.
of,
Like
of mop buckets.
I see that mop bucket everywhere, and it has Finnish radio playing on it, but never Ati, so maybe it is the oops of mop bucket, actually.
Okay, stop talking about this game.
All right.
He's gonna play.
That was Control. Control, the new game from Remedy.
Gun changes.
Also, every actor from every Remedy game and every Remedy universe is tied in the same ways that they always are.
Sean Ashmore?
No, actually, but
Dead on a motorboat.
yeah, you're not wrong. Like Sam Lake, I've seen Sam Lake's likeness. I've seen the actor who plays Alan Wake, does a bunch of FMV. The actor who plays Max Payne. Like they're all in there. News, video game news. I have some good, some bad. Not the worst we've seen. Let's start with the good. Nintendo.
Fuck, we gotta talk about Nintendo Direct. This is gonna be a long show.
Yeah, Nintendo Direct had a big direct. Terry Bogard. He's
Tebow.
Who?
facing the Fury. Tebow's facing the Fury. Fatal Furies.
Fatal Fury.
Yep.
He's been in more than Fatal Fury, surely.
Yeah.
Mark of the
The whole
Wolves?
Yeah, the whole SNK thing. He's like the face of the SNK like brand, right? So King of Fighters was a big one.
Is
right?
that the one with Howard Geese?
Geese Howard.
Geese
and
Howard?
Like, yeah.
Howard the Duck, you're thinking of.
Morgan Arthur? Carry on.
And then there was a big SNK Capcom sort of crossover.
I think it was
That
called
was a big-
SNK versus Capcom,
Yep.
if I'm not mistaken.
Aptly
Yep.
named.
But I mean, it's like unless you're into fighting games, like it's kind of a deep cut. Fatal Fury is.
Does he throw a Hadouken? Like, I don't know shit about Terry Bogard.
What's his thing?
Yeah. What's
He-
his, what's
He
his
gotta
thing?
kill a motherfucker.
Punchy dude.
What's he gonna do?
He has a long blonde ponytail. He wears a hat over his head.
That's not what I
Is he
meant.
trying to catch
That's
them
not
all?
gonna kill anyone.
His fireball. When you think of Ryu and Ken, they throw like a fireball,
Sure.
a ball of fire that goes from one point to the other. I think his is like a ground wave.
Okay.
Oh.
Like he
Okay.
hits the
Okay.
ground and then it's a wave.
A little bit of like a
Shockwave.
seismic kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
There's
with
lots,
you.
there's room.
And he has a power fist where he dodges in and like of course a dragon punch. Like
Is it a fire?
fucking I
Does he
don't
scream
know.
when he does it? Does he scream anything when he does it?
No, his
Shoryuken!
his whole thing is like he's kind of like the silent kind of strong type. And he's
Oh.
always been like
Oh.
they call him the lone wolf. It's something wolf. I'm pretty sure it's the lone wolf.
Grey Wolf? Sekiro?
Nope.
That's what Sekiro means, by the way. Grey Wolf.
And I don't know. Like, he's the face of the SNK brand.
Now he's the face of Smash. Because
Yeah.
here he is.
Everyone's here.
New competitor.
Ready to fight.
Everyone is here.
Raring to go.
Faces the Fury. Some SNES games came to Nintendo Switch Online at no additional cost. If you have an NSO subscription, Nintendo Switch Online, you get, let's see here, Super Mario Kart, Kirby's Dream Course, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, F-Zero, Legend of Zelda Link to the Past, Super Mario World, Star Fox, Stunt Race FX, Super Metroid, Kirby's Dream Land 3, Pilot Wings, Super Soccer, Super Tennis, Brawl Brothers, Demon Crest, Joe and Mac 2, Lost in the Tropics, Super EDF, Earth Defense Force. I didn't know there was an Earth Defense Force
Why do
on
you say why?
Super
Why did you
Nintendo.
just call it Super Earth Defense Force?
That's a Japanese name. It's probably translated poorly. Super Puyo Puyo 2, Breath of Fire, and Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
That's a banger of a list.
Oh, yeah.
I've
There's
heard
a
of
lot of
shit.
there's a lot of things that I will never play and have frankly never heard of on here.
anyone ever heard
But
of
they got all the
Demon's-
good ones.
Demon's Crest. I have, yeah.
What's Demon's Crest about?
I don't know. I've heard of it.
Okay, Breath of Fire?
Breath of Fire is really good.
Okay.
Old Capcom RPG, fucking really, really good.
You guys ever play Super Mario World?
I'm
Yes.
sorry, Super Mario what? I don't.
I think it was bigger in Japan.
All right.
I've never played Star Fox on the SNES.
No?
No.
I don't know that
Was
I
that
have
crazy?
either.
Was that Star Fox 2? Was like a weird
Star
SNES
Fox
game that never came out that they
2
sort of re-released?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was on
I don't.
the the mini Super Nintendo, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. They also announced Deadly Premonitions 2. They announced a sequel to Deadly Premonitions. The game is called Deadly Premonitions 2: A Blessing in Disguise. And I guess Swery
is it ever?
is this Swery? Is this Suda? I can never keep my.
One of the two. I think it's Swery.
Let's see. Suda 51 is. I'll take your word for it.
Don't.
We should look that up. made by whoever. Super embarrassed that I can't remember it. That's weird. It's a Switch exclusive at launch. They say that's weird. That's really weird.
I'm not gonna play this.
That is super weird. I think I'm gonna try and play the first Deadly Premonitions.
I don't know that I like sweary games or if I just like the idea of sweary games.
Did he do Dark Dreams Don't
One
Die,
of them
or is that
did.
Suda? I think Dark Dreams is Suda.
Okay.
We need to. I'm gonna look this up right now.
Check
Two
this
drunk
facts.
guys played Dark Dreams Don't Die.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That lady's
Yes,
a
you had a
cat.
feral cat woman living in your fucking apartment.
She's like a woman who she doesn't look like a cat. She behaves like she didn't look like a cat. She
No, I
just
think she had
behaved
like cat ears, but like they
Yeah, it
were
was.
they were
I mean,
artificial.
as
I
many
think. Yeah.
ladies do.
She'd
What
lick
about
your face, but I don't think in a sexual way.
then like a cat-like
cat,
way? Yeah. Deadly Premonition.
It's a slippery slope, you guys.
Well, I used to say when a cat does it, it isn't in a sexual way.
Where does hentai become art and vice
Yeah, but
versa,
when
right?
that cat is shaped like a female,
Yeah, you have some decisions to make.
yeah.
Sweary.
Slippery.
It's Sweary.
Start looking at your court law.
I'm going to mispronounce his name here. Ready? Hidetaka Sweary Suhiro.
Means Grey Wolf.
No, that's Sekiro.
Oh.
Hidetaka Sweary Sekiro Suhiro.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna try and play Deadly Premonition. I've played a few hours here and there over the years. It is a fucking weird game.
Yeah.
A really weird game. Actually, Control, interestingly enough, reminds me a lot. In Deadly Premonition, the main character is always talking to, you're not sure, presumably you. He talks in the second person a lot. He's like, "What do you think about this, Zach?" And he always calls you Zach. And Control does a lot of the same stuff where the character is like talking like, "She knows about you," and you're like, oh, "About me, Matthew Eads, the player?" Oh. I might try to play Deadly Premonition 2.
You should play D4
Let's see if
again.
I can get through 1. Yeah, maybe.
No.
They announced that Overwatch is coming to Switch.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's weird. Like, makes sense.
That probably makes a lot of sense.
I would not want to play that on Joy-Cons.
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Divinity Original Sin 2. Divinity 2 Original Sin? I don't know the proper nomenclature, but that most recent Divinity Original Sin game that came out, that Kevin and I played that one time, we marathoned it in like a week or something.
Did
on
you
the
guys get
stream.
it on the Game of the Year list?
Yeah, maybe.
Like you did.
Couple years ago now.
I think it is one of the only games in the history of me being a part of the show that was on the Game of the Year list that I had never touched.
Yeah, that might be. It's a great game. Deserves it. Return to the Obra Dinn, I think, definitely made it on the list somewhere.
Well, I
Best-
don't really know the
Best
way
music,
that list
I think,
ended
maybe.
last year.
I think it might have made it on for some music or something. Return to the Obra Dinn coming to Switch. Hell yeah.
That's
sweet.
that seems like a good platform for that game.
Oh yeah, totally. Yep. They announced something called Super Kirby Clash, which is a kind of 4-player free to play,
Free to start. It even said
free
that on the
to
direct.
free to start. It's like kind of like Monster Hunter, where it's like 4 call them Kirby's on a team. Not all Kirby's. Like it's
Kirby.
Waddle Dee and
Sure.
the
whole gang.
other
The whole
friend,
gang, yeah.
Spiky Eyeball Man.
Yeah.
You're like working together to kill like big boss enemy. The boss rush game that you've been looking for, Brandon,
Yes.
is here on the Switch.
Finally.
It's like you're working together to take down enemies, and it seems very like a 2D Monster Hunter. They have different attacks, and you're getting gear. It looks like, and I was kind of interested in it actually. Free to start sounds gross.
Yep.
That's all I pulled from the direct.
I want to say one thing that I saw that I really enjoyed is specifically the stage that they put on with Banjo-Kazooie when they added them to Smash Bros.
Super cool.
Did we play that on the weekend?
No, they added it after the weekend.
During the direct?
Tuesday, yeah, during the direct it dropped,
Because
I think.
Banjo also came to Smash that day. Is that right?
Banjo came to Smash,
Hell yeah.
and thus his stage and his music and everything, and I think that stage is really cool. It's fucking on top of the spiral mountain, and the camera is always turning,
Okay.
like rotating around the mountain. So like as it rotates around, there are different parts of the mountain that, because you can see them in the camera shot, you can use them to land on.
Oh, weird.
And then the background's also fucking like 360ing around, and I thought it looked really good.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. It was a really good looking level. I honestly didn't really care about Banjo coming, but I was like, that level looks fucking dope.
The day after, 2 days after? Day after or 2 days after, Nintendo also announced their weird flexible circle peripheral thing that doesn't really have a name, which looks like a thin circular strip of metal, kind of. You know those things that, like, I don't know what they're called, where you like slap them on, they're like a piece of metal, like curved metal, you slap them on your wrist,
Slap bracelet.
and they like whoosh, wrap around. It looks like that, but like rolled up.
Okay.
In like a big circle, and it seems to have like three things where Joy-Cons strap in, which is a weird number of Joy-Cons to put on a thing.
Yeah, I don't have that many.
And it is like, in the trailer, people are like flexing it and like squishing it, and it seems to be, they imply it might be unbreakable, because they show, again, these people are not, they are like pulling on it and exclaiming like, oh, like seem amazed at how strong it is. And then they show
Anime
like
exclaim.
oh! Fucking hashtag thing beating on my forehead. And like it shows them like kind of like using it like a bow and arrow, and what it looks like almost. There's a shot where a lady is literally just velcroing one Joy-Con to her thigh. Like that's okay, that's all right.
It's like a Fitbit.
Yep.
Sure, that goes on your inner thigh for some reason.
Yeah, and then the one person has it on between her knees or whatever, like a what's that exercise thing? A thigh master.
When you do squats.
Oh yeah,
and you
okay, yeah,
spread.
yeah. You're squishing the.
Yeah, I don't know.
Squishing
what
the
fuck
ring.
This is.
It
I'm
looks
not going to
weird.
buy this.
I just want to squish one. I don't want to buy it. That looks super fun to like.
Squish it.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have a test one at Walmart we can squish.
Yeah.
I would like to squish a test.
That's
one.
the thing. All they showed were people playing with this thing. There was no like sort of video game.
There's a spot where
there's probably no video game component.
I wonder how strong it is. They make it look like you can they make it look like people are like doing push-ups on it, for example, like supporting their entire weight in a way that like I need to get one in my hands.
We should try and break one.
Yeah, that's exactly what
And we should film it.
if the boast is this thing is unbreakable, we should try and break one.
Break it and injure ourselves. Yes.
Will it? We should try
We're
and
gonna
build
fucking
one.
We should try and sue Nintendo.
Like, let's fucking put it against that school over there, and I'll drive my truck into it. Like, let's see what we, you know what I'm saying? Let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
So it's been a pretty wild week for Nintendo. More or less weird than Labo. What do you guys think?
Worried?
Weird.
Definitely
weird.
more.
Just on
I
the
think
weird
it's
factor.
Oh, I think it's more weird than
Yeah,
Labo.
weird,
Yeah.
weirder than fold up cardboard
Well, with
pianos
Labo,
and
yeah,
fucking
there's-
robot backpacks.
There's kind of like an inherent like, okay, yeah, the directions here are to build a piano, or I'm buying the piano kit. I am buying the robot kit. This is a fucking hoop with 3 Joy-Cons.
You give me the Labo, and I'm like, I see what this is for. You give me that hoop, and I'm like, oh, This is weird.
Try
Why can
biting
I put Wii or Joy-Cons on it?
I really want one. I don't know. It's so fucking weird, dude. I want to know. Nintendo, if you're listening, send me a demo unit.
You could hook it to something and do a pull-up.
Ooh.
Yeah, maybe.
Awesome.
Maybe, but I don't. What are you
You
gonna hook
could
it
hang
to?
yourself with it.
Almost certainly. Yep. I mean, you could do that with an N64 controller. There are a lot of things. We can't start worrying about what we could or could not
guess.
hang.
There's
Literally, these headphones I'm wearing right now.
there's tensile
lots.
strength to this stuff, though. If this thing's unbreakable,
Which is just a claim that I made up here on the podcast for.
Oh, Nintendo didn't say so?
No,
Oh.
they are pulling on it. And they don't. There's no spoken language in the trailer. It's just people
okay.
being like, "Whoa!" But like they are like, there are two like large men who are just reefing on it and are both like, "Oh!" like looking at it, seemingly surprised.
Cowards.
I took that to mean that they're cowards.
Yeah.
I took that to mean that it is supposed to be tough and like pulled on and stretched and malleable, springy. You know?
do you guys have the Wii Fit board?
No,
We
No.
did.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I got behind, and I'm like, this is neat.
Unbreakable?
No, it broke.
No, ours
Not-
still is functional.
One
Is
myth
it?
busted.
That's because you probably use it like the one time.
Whoa, I think I did like maybe 40 days in a row. I'm like, this is pretty boring.
Yeah, if you
and
don't-
I'd rather just,
It turns out if you don't use the Wii Fit board every day, it breaks.
I would have played one of those if it came with Snowboard Kids.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh shit!
Nice.
Now that I'm into yoga, I feel like I might be into the Wii Fit board because then they have a yoga. Wii instructor. Smash Lady does lots of yoga.
Yep.
She's fucking seems like she teaches the whole class. I would do yoga
Yeah.
with Wii yoga.
Why don't you just
Person.
use DDP yoga?
I do lots of
Oh,
different.
okay.
I do lots of
He
different.
just wants to expand.
Yeah, it depends what I'm in the mood for. Sometimes I do relaxing yoga with this lady. She talks very calmly. Oh, we're gonna mountain pose. Sometimes I do yoga with DDP, who's all bang,
Nah,
fucking yelling
he
at you and
fucking
shit.
Doesn't want you calm.
Like, holy, a little
I don't know
hungover
who
diamond.
taught him about
Let's
yoga.
take this down a bit. EA holds the record for our favorite. Holds the record for video game company that most people in this room have worked for. Well, holders of a second record now, Brandon. That's I saw. Yeah, that's why I was setting that up. Apparently, they hold the world record for the most downvoted comment in Reddit history.
Wow.
They finally did it. Yes.
What a prestigious honor.
Apparently, this was discovered. Someone was the way this story reads is someone was literally just flipping through the Guinness Book of World Records and just found it's like, oh, weird, most downvoted EA, huh? Like, it was apparently a big surprise to everyone, including EA.
Sure.
It was for their.
They have so many accolades now.
I know, and have really been hitting it out of the park the last couple of years.
Yeah.
It came from their, remember, if everybody probably does, the Battlefront 2 loot box thing. It came from their comment being about, I believe it was after a change. So I believe it was the first time they made a little change to the currency required to buy some characters or something when it was originally outrageous. It was like you had to play 40,000 hours or something. They made a change and did a post about how like, hey, we're gonna keep listening to the community. Thanks for your feedback. We're gonna keep tuning. Let us know what you don't like. Yada yada yada. And it just ended with like, we take your feedback seriously or whatever. It was just boilerplate, like
Sure.
whatever.
People didn't want to hear it.
Did not want to hear it. 683,000 downvotes. Damn near 750,000 downvotes. Adding this to their many accolades, including the consumerist worst company in 2012 and 2013 consecutive. Previously unheard of for a company to win 2 years in a row, but EA would go on to do it again in 2017 and 2018, retaining their title for the worst company, as awarded by the consumerists. You know, who are they?
I don't know who
Yeah,
they are.
it's real fucked. It's real fucked. EA's a bag of shit these days. Remember, EA doesn't really make video games. EA is a publishing company. EA likes to ruin video games from behind the scenes. They like to give ridiculous release dates and insane working conditions and expect products to be made. But what you think of as EA, plus or minus the Vancouver and whatever studios, they don't really make video games. So when you're mad at EA, don't be mad at the folks who make video games. Remember, nobody sets out to make a bad video game.
I would like to know what it's like to be the person who actually wrote the post to see this and be like, is it a point of pride or is it a disappointing?
If it was,
you'd be just like, you'd know that it wasn't your fault that it got downvoted.
yeah, totally.
But you'd probably be like,
You're just some PR manager.
I'm kind of in the Guinness Book of
Hell
World
yeah.
Records
If
in a way.
that was me, like let's say that was like a Dragon Age thing, because like Dragon Age 2 is the worst game ever made, or whatever.
I made that.
Like, fucking A. I helped make that the worst game.
I made that game.
And then I got one more story here. A bit of a bummer. Chucklefish. So they're a developer.
That's a good name.
Yeah, damn good name. They're a developer publisher. They publish Stardew Valley and a ton of other games. They developed Starbound. And they are responding to allegations of exploiting volunteer developers. And I bring this up because we had a story last week about the Telltale thing, which ended in they are dangling the promise of full-time positions at the development company in front of those employees. Which is, we're going to hear that in this exact story, which is, like I said last week, it's just a fucking bullshit phrase that every single employer, probably everyone in this room has at some point heard, hey, we're hiring on for whatever, but there is a potential for full-time or advancement or whatever it is. So complaints came to light earlier this week when an individual named Damon Reese, who is credited as the lead writer on Starbound, this is all about Starbound, on Twitter, they started saying how they worked hundreds of hours without pay. Quote, hundreds of hours without pay. And the game went on to sell 2.5 million copies first year, so it did pretty well. 2 graphic artists came out, said the same thing, like, hey, we were also working on Starbound. Everybody who worked on it had to sign a contract saying that they would not be paid for their work. And Reese and these individuals have all kind of confirmed as such from multiple sources. And the official Chucklefish response was, during this time, both the core crew and community contributors were collaborating via a chat room dedicated their free time. Community contributors were under no obligation to create content, work to deadlines, or put in any particular number of hours. Everyone was credited or remunerated as per their agreement, which, if your lead writer is just dedicating his time in a chat room with no obligation to put in any amount of time or meet something's not adding up there.
No.
It is impossible to be lead writer on a video game that you are not yourself running, and things are not making sense. And again, Reese and these other people got out and said, hey, we were required to sign a contract saying we would not be paid. There were deadlines. There were absolutely deadlines, if not literally written down, then heavily implied. And of course, these are all volunteer positions where, well, if you don't want to do it, I got 100,000 people on the forums who sure as fuck do. And they go
It's
into...
always a problem. Like, everyone needs to just stop wanting jobs.
Right.
It's... Yeah.
Everyone should be paid equally for everything.
No, that's also not the answer. But
Communism.
and throughout this whole time, they dangled the promise of full-time development positions within the development studio, none of which ever came to light because that is what every developer says. And it really is... I mean, there's no real huge breaking news here or anything, but it is kind of kicking off this discussion about free labor. Remember that Ubisoft thing?
I feel like this discussion has been ongoing in the industry for a while now.
Totally.
This is
More
just
and more and more and more.
The next shot across the bow.
Yeah. Because there's was it Watch Dogs Legion where they're like outsourcing their art
Joseph
and music
Gordon-Levitt stuff for...
what game was that for?
That was
not
his,
Deadly Premonition.
creative community that he wanted to be like, hey,
for a
you guys
game,
can
though.
contribute.
No,
to
it
this.
was associated with a game. It was that one with the pig and the...
Oh, Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Beyond Good and
Evil.
Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one with the pig. Good work.
Yeah. There's a lot of this. There's a lot of this in QA. Oliver, you and I went through this exact same thing where they dangle the because like if someone says, "Hey, you want to come do QA for 2 months and then you're fired?" Like, well, maybe some people do, but totally. Like, I still might, but maybe not. Maybe I'll go get a real job and a career and want to feed myself and my family. And it's like it happens in everything. It happens in radio. In radio, it is the fucking worst, where you are expected to volunteer until someone's like, you know what, you've been doing this for a few years. How would you like to get paid way under minimum wage, but it's salary, so legally it's okay. And it happens a lot. It happens a lot, especially in the video game industry, especially with. If you yourself are looking to get into game development, this is going to happen tons. If you're a talented artist, if you're talented, people will almost always try to exploit you for free. But at the same time, just like in radio, like I had to volunteer for a year to get in the business. That was how I got my foot in the door, and that is a real thing at the same time. It is this very complicated issue where you absolutely should be paid. There are radio stations here who don't pay their interns, and that is, by the letter of the law, illegal for what they ask them to do because they're driving company vehicles and yada, yada, yada. But there's a very complicated and layered conversation to be had there. Such a thing as paying dues, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I've never really understood the whole intern thing, and now that you mentioned, like, yeah, if these people are driving like company vehicles, setting up like
Totally, they are
shit for
they are
them,
going
and then-
on air. They are doing every single responsibility that
But
a
interns-
paid radio host would do.
But
They
an
just don't
intern
get paid.
is like, it's kind of like a widely accepted position.
It is.
Right? Yeah, and like kids straight out of high school or whatever, or college.
Trying to get your foot in the door.
Yeah, or clamoring. So how has that?
The demand for these jobs far exceeds the number of jobs,
Yes.
which puts the people who in those companies in a position where they can be like, well, we'll just take the guy who's okay working under our terms.
Totally. Yes, that is actually the perfect way to describe it.
Yeah.
Is that so many people want to do? So many people love video games, want to be involved in making video games. I totally understand that. But everybody who plays video games wants to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So if I, Matthew Eads, am not happy working for free, well, there's
Someone is.
literal millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions in this space who are. So it's brutal. There is because of the demand, employers can take advantage of this, and that is business. That if you can save yourself, if I can get somebody to do it for free,
Why wouldn't you?
why wouldn't I? Exactly.
So then it becomes a bigger issue of like a whole cultural thing in the workplace of like at some point you're like, look, I know you can get people to do this for free.
Mm-hmm.
We need to maybe put some laws or something in place to be like, you just can't do that.
Yeah,
Even though you could do that,
The
you can't do
unionization
that.
talk comes into it as well, where
Yeah.
like union jail, you can't do unionized trades without being a ticketed tradesperson legally. But lots of people still do whatever. I would assume you probably can't. I probably can't just go start filming stuff on the street and sell it as footage or whatever. I would assume I would have to unionize if
So,
CTV wanted to.
When I first started, I was a casual employee.
Mm-hmm.
I was not part of the union. I was paid well, but they could have just told me to get lost at any point.
Yeah, but you were still doing like cameraman stuff.
It was all camera. It was the
Okay.
exact same job I did. I just didn't have benefits. I didn't have job security.
Yeah.
But I got paid well. And when it came time for a part-time job, because I was doing that job and they knew me, it was a big leg up in the interview process. So
Yeah,
I went through that thing, but it's not an internship. It was good paying work.
Yeah,
it was
that
just
is
freelance work
Totally.
essentially. Yeah.
Totally. There are some industries where like SAG stuff. You cannot be in a production if it is a Screen Actors Guild production. What the fuck SAG stands for?
Yeah.
That's it.
You can't be in them. You have to be union to be on the union jobs. Just like anything. Union job, you got to be union to be on it. So I don't know. Maybe again, it's a can of worms, especially here in Alberta, where everybody's so opinionated on unions that it's tough. We are the redneck backwater of this country.
We're going to leave the country at some point.
we are trying to secede.
If anyone, used to be Quebec.
That'd be so
Still
fucking
Quebec.
weird, right? Dab smack in the center.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Canada, the sovereign nation of Alberta. Back to Canada.
Fuck, I'd move.
I would. I'd like to live. Can I get like a hold fast? Like, can I be like House Eads of the sovereign nation of Alberta?
I feel like at the point that enough people pushed that through, I would be like, I can no longer stand to live in the same geographical area as most of you.
Well, we all. Like,
I'm moving to Japan.
We all go to the parliament and the king in the north, and put our swords in the air, and it's a whole to do. So
Then you got to start conquering.
yeah, that's
It's
true.
just fucking.
yeah.
What are you? You're in trouble. You're surrounded.
Just burn and churn,
You
baby.
got to take BC first. Get the water on your side.
That's right, and the weed on our
And the
side.
weed.
The money
Fuck.
stands for bring cash, baby. Podcast. Good.
Got to keep going. You got to keep rolling with it.
Good. So, podcast, talkingreckless.com is an email address. That was podcast at talkingreckless.com. Or you drop these on our Discord or our subreddit, r/talkingreckless. Just go to our website, talkingreckless.com. You can find all that nonsense there. Somebody wrote one in. Let me unfold my paper here. Duncan wrote in. Regular show contributor, Duncan, says, this is maybe a little more aimed at me. Oh, I didn't even read the last part of this. Wow. Okay. Since you guys often stream video games and do so as the way you make a living, referring to myself, has the novelty of playing games just to enjoy them worn off? Also, Sekiro is a bad game. Thoughts? I legit did not know.
I agree, Duncan.
I put this on before you even put Sekiro on the list.
It's weird that just ended up in that email on that doc that we can all
Did you add
access.
this? Duncan, how dare you? I don't know. The novelty from... I mean, y'all played lots of video games. I mean, Brandon, you play lots of video games. You probably play...
Lots of video games.
Not as much as I do because I literally do it all day, every day. But close second.
In terms of different stuff played, I played a lot of video games. Yeah.
And even in terms of like hour count, probably pretty similar.
I bet you Warren's hour count is huge over mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think he puts way more hours into way fewer games.
Friday the 13th. I literally just saw him tweet, Friday the 13th is the greatest game of all time. Don't at me.
Yeah.
At him.
He might literally hundreds, I would imagine.
It's wow.
If the definition of hundreds is 200,
that is the definition of hundreds.
I bet you he's hit that.
Wow.
It's tough to tell. I have a bad concept of time when it comes to video games.
Novelty for me is totally worn off. Where like I still really love playing video games, and I still get up and do it every day. But like, I just don't get excited for things coming out like I used to. You know, they used to be like you hear about a game and not even like as a kid, but like 20 years old or whatever. Like, oh fuck, the new
mark the date.
Circle
like the day on your calendar.
New Modern Warfare. Holy shit! It has been years since I played more. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Where now it's just like it's honestly kind of just another. You know, I've played 50 brand new games this year, and we'll play 50 next year. Like it's just another like see how it is. I hope it's good. It probably maybe it will be, but yeah, the novelty is totally.
But is it because of streaming, or because of being old, because of just
both
video games existing?
All three. Yeah, just playing them
having
so
the
much.
Money for me, having the money to buy as many as I do, has made it so like I'm playing a lot of bad games because I'm like I want to see what this is like. And I spend money on. Whereas if I did not have a lot of money,
you're just talking about Sekiro, aren't you? See if behind those eyes.
Me and Duncan's opinion on Sekiro is well documented. Whereas if I only had like I could buy 3 games a year, then not a doubt in my mind that those 3 games I would choose them wisely and be very excited for when they came out.
Yeah, totally.
But for this, it's just kind of like I was talking to Warren about this the other day where I'm like, it's like it feels like I'm going to get Control and I want to play Creature in the Well.
Oh, yeah.
And and then like Modern Warfare's right on the horizon. Death Stranding's not far away.
Gears
that
is
new
out.
Link's Awakening game. Gears is out.
Outer Worlds.
That like it's like I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah.
With these games, and it takes away from the excitement. Like there's a general excitement of like, man, there's so much to play.
Good games.
Yeah.
Woo!
But it's like if there was no games but the Outer Wilds. They
should change that. They should put a subheader on that before it comes out.
Yeah. Then I would be super stoked for when that game came out. I'd be thinking about that day when I was like, man, it's finally time to play that game. But there's so many games, especially this time of year. I feel like that it's a little bit more in like I remember when Resident Evil 2 came out earlier this year and there was nothing else to play.
Yeah.
I was excited. I thought about it the week leading up.
That's pretty like I almost never get that where like usually it's like, oh, is that game out today? Oh, that's out today. Awesome.
Right.
Whereas it used
because I think
to be
you
like,
go even another level where like if there's nothing out, you are finding bullshit on Steam.
Yeah,
to fucking like I at least cut that out of my rotation.
It's part of a balanced video game diet. All right.
But yeah, when you get to after Madden season starts and it's just like, fuck, I want to play all these games and they're all $80 and I don't know if half of them are good, but I'm going to buy them anyway.
Well,
fuck Sekiro.
Can't. What about you, Bryce?
I like video games.
Yeah. Do you still get excited the same way as like...
Well, there's
you can't ask when you were a kid because that doesn't count for anything.
No, like I don't know. I get excited for fewer games since I don't know.
Do you get
like
excited?
Link's Awakening's coming
like,
out in the end of September, and then Shovel Knight in December.
What the fuck? More Shovel Knight? That can't be.
Shovel Knight.
It's finally coming out.
It's
that can't
fucking
be.
dope.
It is, but hasn't that game been out for 10 years?
Yeah.
But and they're still releasing more Shovel Knights?
This is the final night.
Oh.
Is that what it's called?
No, it's Treasure Trove. You can play as King Knight for this one.
The Final Fantasy confused me. I fell for that 17 times or whatever. I'm not doing it again. All right, Final Knight.
I fucking love Shovel Knight.
It's so good.
Never. I've played a little bit of Shovel Knight actually. Do you get excited or do you just feel like you're missing out? I've realized now that with WoW Classic, I didn't give a fuck. I just felt like I was missing out.
Just got the FOMO.
I know what that stands for. What does that stand for?
Fear of
Missing out.
Fear of missing out. Totally.
Yeah.
Do you say full FOMO?
Sure.
Yo, bro. No FOMO. No, I'm saying full FOMO.
Oh yeah.
I was full FOMO on FOMO sexual on World of Warcraft.
He got there. Really stitched that joke together.
But yeah, no, it's like, it's cool. I should probably experience this because everyone else is going to be playing it. I want to play it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
There's a little
That's
bit
about it.
There's a little bit about being part of the show too, where you're like, oh, I'd like to have something to talk about on this show, other than just Apex over and over again.
It's a good excuse to justify purchases, or like Sekiro. Oh, that'd be good on the show at least.
You know what? That was $80 that hopefully made a couple of you out there laugh, because that's all it was worth.
OJ?
I don't play games at all anymore, and
You should have just stopped there.
it's a thing where I'm like, fuck, like I would love to have games that I'm looking forward to and want to play. And right now it's only Death Stranding, obviously, right? I know Control was coming out for a bit, and I've heard a lot of buzz around it. But
now
it's a game
that's out and you missed the window?
No, the thing is, like, I was interested in it when I first saw it, but I wasn't interested enough to be looking forward to it, and like, it's really early on. If like after I see a trailer or whatever, that I'm like, fuck, I want to get that game, right? I can't even think of any right now, like Death Stranding. But then that's kind of turned the corner where I'm like, fucking just give me the game. I don't want to see anything anymore.
Right.
What else could be said about that? Like the Modern Warfares, like the new one, I'm like, fuck, I could probably get back into that. That looks cool.
What if Bryce is a bad guy?
But then at the same time, like, I don't really want to. So it's weird. Like, I still enjoy playing video games. It's just there's not, like, I have to pick and choose the games that, like, I'm gonna actually buy. Because I feel like I will enjoy those ones. Like Man of Medan. Like, sure, that thing's, 4 hours for like $40? Like, I still am seriously considering buying that because that's a game that I can play with Amber and we'd have fun with.
Mm-hmm. I think you get a kick. I recommend that game. I think you two would get a kick out of that game.
It would be a perfect game for you guys to do that kind of thing. There's still the bangers out there for me too. Like, I always, like, whenever I think of The Last of Us 2, I'm like, that, I fucking am so excited about that game. I'm as excited for that game as I've been excited for video games since I was a kid. It's just less of them.
Yeah, I'm dead inside. I feel
Oh.
nothing.
Yeah.
I feel nothing about Last of Us 2. I hope it's good.
Doom 2019 this year?
Yeah, that'll probably be
I'm
good.
excited for that one.
Yeah. I'm about as excited as I get. I didn't even... Did anyone know that game existed until Nintendo announced their...
I knew Doom 64.
I knew Doom 64.
Doom 64 was the Doom of record for me.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. I knew it existed, obviously, but I was like, there's a Doom on the N6... Oh, yeah. That's gross.
That was the first one I ever played, and I don't really remember anything about it.
I don't know. I don't think I played the full thing. All I remember is I'm pretty sure it's fucking bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think it might be like really
I probably
fucking bad.
remembered it. There's shockingly few good N64 games.
Yeah.
I was going through literally the catalog the other day. Like the top N64 games are like the top 10 are like, yeah, these are all good games. And then there's like a drop off point where I was like,
oof.
Fucking.
Is Turok 2 on that list?
Yeah, it was up there.
Okay. I've played that recently and it's not as good
not
as you
very
remember.
good.
That's the thing too. Like GoldenEye, I remember is like a banger of a video game, but you go back to that and that game
not good.
sucks.
Yeah.
Like Mario 64
Mario
is still
64
good.
is probably legit.
Ocarina of Time is still good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ocarina of Time is a timeless classic.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of them. Like Banjo-Kazooie is not a fun video
Donkey
game.
Kong 64 is maybe the worst video. I'm watching people play it. I'm not replaying it. It is maybe the worst video game ever made. It is so fucking bad.
It's like things like draw distance, where I like for some reason it was just not a problem when I was a kid.
Hand in front of face.
Yeah, it was like I'll just walk up to every inch of this map until I know where everything is.
Because that's just how it was.
Yeah.
You never there was no alternative. You're like, oh, this is video games. But now you're like, this is muddy, foggy, fucking bullshit.
So
You can't see the turns in Mario Kart 64, some of them. It's just like, we have to turn now on that fucking snow level.
Yeah.
Choco whatever mountain.
Oh,
Yeah.
yep.
Ugh.
Glover, I think, is the game.
Oh, yeah. It's a glove on a ball.
The fog The draw distance fog in that game is unbelievable. It is staggering when you go back and see it.
The N64 was not a great console.
No.
Looking back on it. Podcast at talkingreckless.com. Email address where you can join us here on the show. Or drop some voicemails on our Discord. You just jump on our Discord. It's a bumping place. What's going on? What's the
Crumpling up the paper.
Oh, okay. No.
So I didn't need to make such a...
I don't. It was like a
Hilarious.
big. Yeah, it was like a big, like in middle of the table, like hands out,
Got
like
a magic trick coming up.
Yeah,
It was-
I thought it was a magic trick.
It was ironically meant to keep it away from the mic so it didn't distract. But
Quite the opposite.
yeah.
Drop this on our subreddit. Join our Discord over at talkingreckless.com. It's a bumping place. We lots of chats. Our memes channel. As a man who doesn't like memes, our memes channel is my favorite thing on our Discord.
I was going through a Kingdom Hearts 3 Reddit. Yeah,
Oh, no.
trying
Oh,
to
no.
jog my memory as to like what my favorite moments were, and some spectacular memes that I'll be bringing to the year-end show
Okay.
to
Hell
show
yeah.
everybody.
Hell yeah.
Like stuff that I felt bad because it was making me laugh out loud, and then I'm like, "What am I doing? Why do I know? Why do I have enough knowledge of this world to know why that's funny?"
Toss those in our. Oh, they're like inside Kingdom Hearts memes. They're not like making fun of Kingdom Hearts memes. Would I get them? I've played 1 and most of 2.
You get there's one that was based on Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah, you should share those on our
It's like
Discord.
it's like the thing with Mo throwing Homer or Barney out. I can't remember
yeah.
who. Barney. And then in the next frame, Barney's like behind him, like inside the bar after he just threw him out. And it was like, man, it's great.
Put
It's
those on our
fucking
Discord.
great.
Put those on our
quality.
Discord. That would fit right there.
Yeah.
Resolution, our next TRWL event
Yeah.
is on Sunday. If you're listening to this the day it comes out, can you guys stop fucking throwing things over my head while trying to do the extra of this podcast?
Trying to hit the camera.
What is
Cool.
happening? That doesn't play on the audio part of this podcast. Resolution, the Talking Reckless Wrestling League, Twitch's premier, and as far as I know, only live video game wrestling league. Our next pay-per-view is this Sunday.
Yay,
Champ Noah
Sunday.
North will attempt to
Defend.
defend his title in a no-holds-barred match against Doink Daddy Kevin.
DDK.
Fun commentating fact. You can just say attempt or just say defend the title. You don't have to say attempt.
No, I think is that right?
You're defending the title whether you
Do
you're
or
in the
not?
process of defending
But what if you
the
don't?
title.
What if you don't defend? I guess you're in the process.
Yeah.
Okay.
He
That's a
will
good-
defend his title.
That's a good commentator tip. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm gonna use that on.
Yeah.
There was legit.
Resolution.
No, there was you like sparked there was like a legit wrestling question I had to ask you for Sunday that is totally almost like that about like business talk. Where like as a commentator, would I say fuck? I think I wrote it down at home. I'll text you.
Okay.
I really just
It's
kind
not
of.
something Warren knows.
It might be. It might be.
Okay.
It was to
Yeah.
ask anyone. I was like,
Okay.
oh, I'll ask
Gotcha.
Brando on the
Yeah.
podcast. That'll be.
Yeah, easy.
Resolution this Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard, which I believe is 12 Mountain, which I don't know what it is the other time zones, but 2 p.m. Eastern
It's
on
11 Pacific.
11 Pacific on the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Talking Reckless Podcast. It's been, we said this last time, and it's true again, the most work I've ever, all of us have ever put into anything. Well, all of us being the people involved.
No.
Between like getting all the wrestlers and the entrances, like rehearsals, which we are doing to make this fucking thing go off without a pop or without a hitch. Hopefully, go off with a pop. Please come and enjoy.
pop. Please pop.
Please pop. Please come and enjoy it on Sunday. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be fucking dope. Matty Diaz, he's got to find a way to get himself into some of these title matches. I don't even know what's going on. Man hasn't had a shot yet. It's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, second show.
He's got to try harder.
Other than that, I think we'll see. I guess if you like wrestling, listen to our brother show, the Suplex City Limits podcast. Find them on iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you find this show. If you enjoyed what you heard, please consider supporting us over on patreon.com/Talking Reckless Podcast. Or if you'd like to be a competitor in the TRWL, you can do that over there. Patreon.com.
Bring your fee.
/Talking Reckless Podcast as well. That's right. Bring your fee. That's all I have to say. Oliver, you want to take the show out like you brought it in?
Shit, I don't even know. How do you close it?
It's how do you want to close it? It's not about how I close it. It's about this new era of Oliver.
Okay, right. Okay, well, thank you, Brando. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Bryce.
Oh, so fast.
Thanks,
Well,
Oliver.
I get to
Hey,
reply.
Yeah, thanks for.
You guys.
Thank you.
Do we all reply once?
We
or-
will
Yes.
catch you guys.
You're welcome, Oliver.
We will catch you guys 7 days from now for episode 289 of the Talking Reckless podcast.
His fucking big portrait he's drawn on his notes there.
I was trying to draw the Sekiro guy, the lone wolf.
Oh.
It kind of looks like a butt, like a derriere from like two shapely buttocks from where I'm.
And until then, everybody out there in the Talking Reckless universe, keep it classy. Cut it.
It's cut. It'll cut on that. I thought you were gonna say stay classy.
Ooh.
I knew you were going classy.
Yeah.
do you want to cut it before or after cut it?
After cut it.
After cut it.
After cut
Okay.
it.
All right. Hey, listen. I'm the producer. You know, I'm not the host.
Do it
I just-
after cut it.
You got it, boss. After cut it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm gonna turn this thing off. This is a long podcast. Longy but a goodie, as they say. We'll see you here tomorrow for some video games. Sunday resolution. Sunday. Come cheer your boy Matty Diaz on. I heard that the commissioner is looking for public. I heard the Batman. I heard the commissioner is looking for like public. He has a finger on the pulse. You know, he's keeping an eye on who's popular, who's the crowd into, who are they not into, as bookings develop in the future. So if you enjoy a particular competitor, make sure you get out there and support them. Yeah, cheer them on. Do you got something you want to say? Or?
No, off
Okay.
camera.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm shutting it
Get out
down.
of
Thanks for watching, everybody, and to everybody in the room. Thank you. Thank them as well.
Thank you.
Everyone in the
You're
chat.
welcome. Thank you.
No. Other chat. Thank these guys.
Oh.
You guys are good. You guys know.
Thanks,
theirs.
everybody.
See you tomorrow, gang.
Oh, crap. It's the bat.
Oh, God.